Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Morning. It is I. It is he. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. And of course, I'm joined by Righteous Reg. What's going on, man?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Saturday morning. I'm feeling good. It's Grapsody Podcast. I'm Media Man. I don't know, Phil. What's good with you?
I'm good. I got up this morning and I listened to this Earl album on the way to grab breakfast. Very clear, sunny sky. It's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, it is the album title kind of fits, funnily enough, right?
Yeah. Very kind of introspective Earl album. Earl trying to like contend with being an adult. So kind of the same themes to Sunday Chance album a little bit.
Yeah, starting to notice all of the rappers that I like are starting to go in that direction. Everybody's like, let me just like talk about what's really going on here and how things really feel. And it feels good. It feels good to hear it from people around your same age and people that, you admire as rappers.
Yeah, definitely some mature raps on there.
Sure.
Shout out to Earl, man. I think Baby is still on the way. Did they have their kid yet?
The baby is here. One of Earl's latest videos for one of the songs on the album called Crisco, there was a album release party. This is all real, I guess. There was an album release party for Earl's album, and he didn't want to do the show. So he tried to do an MF Doom thing. But instead of getting, you can't do that without the mask. Instead of getting an Earl lookalike, he got this Asian dude. So he like... So they like the whole video of them training the Asian guy to act like Earl, rap like Earl, look like Earl. And then the guy went and did the show. And so like they recorded that whole thing and that's the video. So like
that's hilarious. I have not seen it.
But in the video, they show his wife and baby. So
yeah. They're married now too?
Yeah, I think they did get married.
Oh wow. Congrats to Earl. Yeah, Crisco is one of my favorite songs in the album. It's got this really nice choir sample on there. Crisco, and the song that comes right afterward, I really like.
I think Crisco might be the one for me at the moment. That one is just, there's always one that speaks to my soul immediately, and that was the one that spoke to my soul immediately.
Yeah. I don't know if you were aware, but I guess there was supposed to be this big Drake thing this week. He dropped episode 3 of this Iceman thing. Iceman has been like his what's the name of the album? But he's also doing this YouTube thing, also named Iceman. The third episode is supposed to be the final episode. People are hyping it up like this is gonna be the one where he drops like this big development. This is when he drops like the bangers, and it kind of felt like it was a big nothing burger. I didn't watch it. I did listen to a good amount of songs that dropped from it, and I was like, nah, this ain't really it.
I pressed play on the one with him and Party or whatever, and I was like, I was immediately out.
Yeah, the Party record, that's a remix from their album that they put out.
Okay.
And so he also put out like some other stuff, like he's doing like these like skits in there with him walking around with this trench coat in his bag, and he's got like these Pinocchio guys dressed like Pinocchio following him around. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just like, man, just give us the music. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the element of him doing the live stream and releasing the music, like it's a new kind of way to get it out to his people, but the way that he's doing it is like interesting choices. I might have not did that. The the one with the guns, and then now this. It's like I don't really interesting choices here. He's going really with the revenge, everybody's out for me type deal, and it's like, guy, relax.
Yeah, and the one video where he's like walking around in like that building, it looks like a church or something. I don't know what it is. He's got like the trench coat and the bag over his shoulder, and then like all you see is like those Pinocchio guys walking around. He's got like this sad music playing while he's like walking around, like looking at the scenery, looking confused. And it's just like they're like surrounding. I mean, and it's like, Ice Man, why you gotta treat me so cold? Like what is this, dog? What is this?
I mean, he's trying to get back into his actor bag, of course. Like we could see here, there's the Degrassi documentary coming out that he's a part of. Like he's trying to get back into that world, I see, and mix the elements up. But it seems so silly, especially at the time, Phil. We still got this lawsuit in the background. He's still wilding on that side, and it's like, you can't talk and then do the I guess you can do anything in the world now. Hip-hop has been exploded. Young Thug and the game. I don't know what's anything at this point. I'm like, all right, you guys can have it, I think.
I tried to see because at the very least, usually Drake is good for an undeniable record that turns into a hit. I think for some people that was Nokia off the last album. I wasn't the biggest fan of Nokia like that. But it's been a minute since he's given us one that's undeniable, and I keep waiting for that one to drop in all of this, and none of it has been really moving me. I like the first song you put out. What is What Did I Miss? I like that one, but I wouldn't say that that's like a hit.
That's not like I haven't been hearing that one everywhere. Like I still hear Nokia when I go outside, but like not, and it's not like everybody's going crazy when it happens. What's the last undeniable hit from Drake is my question, I think here.
We talked about this in a group chat, and it might be Rich Flex.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And he's put a bunch of records out since then.
It's probably Rich Flex. I guess you could argue first person shooter.
Yeah.
But I think it's Rich Flex. But even first person shooter was 2023.
It's been some time. Anything has been, at least 2 years at this point. And this guy used to be every 6 months he was putting out an undeniable hit. Like no matter what, everybody's singing it. There's viral videos. It's just not like that anymore.
Nah, Rich Flex was hard, bro. But yeah, I like that album. I like the album with him in 21. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the party record. I skimmed through it once. I was like, man, not really for me. That sound is not really for me. I mean, I know people that like it, but not really for me.
And I didn't hear those records out too many times. The couple times I've been out in Oakland, and surprisingly, I would think I would hear more.
Just Nokia, and sometimes I'd hear "Give Me a Hug," but that's about it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this stuff he's playing is just like loosies of him just getting stuff out. And so I would bet a bunch of this is not actually on the album, which makes it even funnier that they hyped this live stream up like this.
Yeah, I don't think this is the full album or the real album. This guy is constantly recording. He has so much stuff he could put out. I'm sure he was like, we can roll these things out, it'll be like that, and then we'll drop the real thing and it'll be all good. But attaching it and making it this kind of mini movie or whatever he's doing has been quite a choice.
Yeah, it also came off of the second Bobby Althoff interview. I did sit and watch it one morning because I had time, and I was just like, this was a whole lot of nothing. This was the
It's not really an interview. In this?
They get into why the other interview was taken down. Apparently, like Bobby got upset with him because she felt like, this like career life-changing event where she did an interview with him the first time, did millions of views, really put her on the map, got her all of this attention. She was upset with him because she was like, this kind of ruined my life. And like all of these people are like making up these rumors and stuff about me based off of this. And Drake was mad because he was just like, hey, I was trying to do something cool for you. I was trying to give you a look. If that's what it's going to be, then just take the interview down. And so that's how the interview got taken down, which I don't know if I fully buy that story.
And this is Drake, arguably the biggest rapper in the world, in bed with some person.
Yeah, the whole story behind the interview of them being in like Deutschmark or wherever the hell they are, and like it's just in the middle of this room with nothing else in it but the bed, and like Drake's got his people bringing him mini burgers and fries, and he's drinking rosé on ice. I'm like, this is not an interview. I don't know what this is. It's like curated content. That's what it is.
With the current climate and what we've heard of the lawsuit with one Sean P. Diddy Combs, and how we've heard that he had beds on like the basketball court and just like outside randomly, I probably wouldn't go with a bed aesthetic if it was me. But
they didn't really address the elephant in the room because they were trying to act like the rumor here is that, because all of this, of course, coincided with her divorce and some of the other things. And so he was trying to act like, oh, well, the big rumor was that, she like gets around. She sleeps with all of her guests. I'm like, not one in particular that everybody thinks she slept with. That's not the big rumor here that we're dodging. I guess we also got the soundbite of him saying that Rhea Ripley is his muse.
Yeah, I saw
that. That was everywhere on all of the wrestling sites. All the aggregators were picking that up. Drake was saying he just wants a golf chick with big boobs. Apparently, I don't know. It was a lot of nothing. If you were expecting him to get into any of the stuff from like the battle or the lawsuit or any of the stuff that we care about, none of that stuff is mentioned here. They gloss over like the ab stuff, which I don't care about. I don't care if he has fake abs or not. I just want this guy to do an actual interview. When people are like, he's got to go to an outlet where they're going to ask him hard questions. No, I just want to do an interview where we get like some new information. We didn't really get any new information here.
Yeah, I saw the debates that it sparked with all the hip hop outlets. Everybody's now just copping pleas. Everybody's with this like, everybody was acting this way to him and they disrespected him and called him a culture vulture. So why would he do interview with these outlets? Come on, you guys. Please come on, you guys. That's not an excuse. Like, you can't not talk to any of the outlets at this point. Well, everybody's iced out now. That's not how this works, brother. You got to go to a real reputable thing that's going to ask you at least something in the ballpark that's going on here. I don't think because of anything that happens that he's exempt from hip hop outlets.
No, I think the very idea that, oh, well, all of these people were joking on him and like kikiing when that song came out and going up for it or saying negative things about it. So nobody gets anything now. It's like, that's not really, I don't think that paints the picture of him that people wanted to.
Oh. And then like there were a bunch of guys that never turned against him that would be there and ask these questions.
There's some content creators that have been Team Drake this entire time. You're gonna tell me he can't sit down with those guys?
That's my question.
So yeah, and that in itself is weird.
When Maul's fighting the hardest and he's like, he doesn't have to do this. I'm like, he could do this with you, dude. If that's, you know what I mean? Like if that's what we're talking about and you're like, nah, I'm chill. All right.
Maul is one of the few people at this point where there's some people that are Team Drake and I just watch and just laugh and go, they're delusional. Maul is one of the few guys where he has legit irritated me because it's like, you're not even trying to understand the conversation we're having, because he's just like, why does he even have to do interviews? It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, this guy is one of the biggest music artists in the world, and he just finished one of the biggest rap battles ever, like this huge moment in his career, like this huge moment in time, period. It's such a big moment in time that it coincided with stuff like Kendrick going to the Grammys, Kendrick at the Super Bowl, and you're telling me that, nah, why he even need to do an interview? What are we talking about? How long have you been around the music business?
Like what are we doing if that's the point? Like, oh, he doesn't have to do this after that. And like, even if you skip the Kendrick stuff, he's put out a bunch of music. He's about to put out music. He was on a world tour, regardless of how crazy people are talking. There's a lot to talk about.
Exactly. Every time people put out music, don't they usually do a press tour where they do interviews and, talk about the thought process behind the album?
Why should he have to do that?
That's why I'm like, it's not like he got to go up there and answer every question. It's not like I'm expecting him to go sit down somebody and somebody, so Drake, let me get close to the microphone. Are you a pedophile? No, I'm not looking for that. Just go on an outlet and do an actual interview. Whatever that wasn't an interview.
Because he hasn't done following the battle like a big interview to be like, hey, it was crazy outside, or even like, hey, I'm not trying to talk about that still, in like a real like manner. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't been challenged on any of this. And you can even like, what I'm saying is these guys have been on your side for so long, you can dictate how the interview goes. We've seen it before. Of course.
I mean, that point was made in all of this. Once you wanted that interview taken down, it was gone.
Right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. To close off the Rhea Ripley thing, Drake, of course, says in this interview that Rhea is his muse, but of course, she's not. He's the opposite of everything she wants in life. And Rhea basically confirmed that in her response that no, absolutely not. I'm more of a Kendrick guy. And so there's that.
And she is pretty much the opposite of everything in his life. But funny to see the wrestling sites get so excited about that little Drake 10-second clip and how the timeline reacted to it, and then seeing the article or the headline this week of Post Malone saying he wants to wrestle Seth Rollins. I'm like, maybe I wanted wrestling to be out there, but maybe I don't anymore.
Bragav, of course, is saying that apparently that Rhea quote might have been a fake tweet. I don't know. I thought that I saw that somewhere, but would not shock me if she's like not a Drake guy at all. Because why? I mean, she doesn't even seem like she would be a Drake guy. But even the Rhea quote in itself just makes it funny. Whatever WWE show that was, where Drake was there and they didn't even draw any attention to it. It's just crazy where we are, man. Like you said, this Young Thug stuff is everywhere now. Young Thug is in jail being a chatty patty. I don't know where all of these leaked audio are coming from. I don't know who's putting this out there. It's crazy.
They drop in every day like an exclude, like, all right, this morning here's a new one. I was fine with it all, Phil. I was like, oh, this is street stuff I probably shouldn't be involved in. But then he said, Andre 3000, who has he influenced? Who has he put on? And I was like,
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, Andre 3000, who has he put on? That's what he said. He said that. And everybody was responding, the South? He put what do you mean? The South got something to say? He was that, because they put up this interview that he did with T.I., and he was like, this was before he went to jail, and he was like, yeah, Andre 3000, I don't know any of his songs. You know how the younger generation does. I've never heard any of his songs. He ain't like that. And then he goes on to tell a story. He was like, oh, yeah, we did a song with Elton John, and Elton John was like, hey, he knew about all our stuff. He knew about Gucci Mane stuff. And he's all, I tried to do a song with Andre 3000, and I was talking to like his secretary and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what does this mean? But then it landed on Andre 3000 don't got it like that.
Ain't he from Atlanta?
He's from Atlanta, Phil.
All right.
He's from Atlanta.
Yeah, nah.
He's from Atlanta.
Nah, this whole era of what we talked about of like these rappers that have been allowed to mature and have a kid, and like they're doing their like earthy face, like even a cover of this Earl album where he's got like his afro out and he's got glasses on. He's like in his real dad vibe. I'm like, nah. One guy in this thing decided, hey man, this rap thing is cool, but I'm trying to be over here wandering the world, playing flutes and like making introspective songs every now and then. You're telling me that guy ain't influenced nobody? What are we talking about? What?
Like the guy with the flute ain't influenced one person. That's what you're telling me. That's so crazy though. Like like Kendrick, like I could name like 500 rappers that are like Andre 3000, Andre 3000, Andre 3000. Me, I'm like, what do you mean?
There's a lot of dudes that do like alternative music and stuff that are absolutely influenced by it. I mean, Thug, maybe what it is somebody told Thug he was influenced by him one day and he took offense to that. But
yeah,
I mean, absolutely, Thug isn't, even if he doesn't realize it, he's been indirectly influenced by Andre 3000. Like, that's just no.
That's so funny because I've been starting to get into Bad Brains, and I watched this Bad Brains documentary, and I didn't know anything about this band really because they were a little ahead of my time. And then so I listened to them and I was like, oh yeah, every band that I like was influenced by this band. And so like that's like, even if you don't know, eventually you're gonna find out. Like there's no way, Young Thug, you're from Atlanta. The sounds, the people that you're working with, they're all influenced by Outkast and Andre 3000. Yes. Like every space that you're in is influenced by this person. The South got something to say. There wouldn't be a Young Thug if there wasn't for this guy.
A big part of like the explosion of music that came out of Atlanta was partially started by Outkast. Yeah, no, you can't do that. And in a time where a lot of guys look the same, making the same music, the guy that was doing what a lot of the esoteric, weird rappers are doing right now was Andre 3000. What? Yeah. This statement is insane.
There was some guy on Twitter was like, when have they ever been the biggest artists in the world? And I was like, nah. I remember when Miss Jackson was out, Phil, and like the whitest kid in school was rapping it in school. Like, I don't, like, you're not gonna, like.
Hold on. Time out. Was his argument was, when was Outkast ever that big?
Yes.
The rap group that sold Diamond that
Outkast.
like swept Grammys and like had like big moments, like Hey Ya came out and it was like a big like what?
Rosa Parks sued them.
Right.
I'm just shut it all down. I think
social media is a place where people are just allowed to say whatever, and I don't know.
When Hey Ya came out, I was like, it was annoying how much that song was played. You couldn't get away from it. Every person in the world was singing it. It was like, leave me alone at this point.
Bro, nah. When was Outkast ever that big is insane. That is a crazy take.
That's a wild. All week I've been like, I think they forget because it's been a while, but like there was a point when Outkast was the biggest rap group in the entire world, and like, bro, their albums are still great. I don't really, the slander always gets, then the big boy gets thrown into it. I'm like, what are you guys? What is this?
It's funny because I remember, because as somebody that was, a very big hip hop fan growing up, but I didn't look like a lot of the guys that I loved. Like I was not like, I was not a hood dude. I was not a street dude. But a lot of music I liked were those guys. And so a certain time period when like the black skater kid became a thing and the black nerd kid became a thing, all of those people loved Andre. All of those people would be like, Andre was their favorite rapper. Again, there's a direct correlation to certain guys like Kendrick and the Earls, and Kanye's and Vince's, and all of these guys that are very like different and esoteric. Like those guys all love Andre. What on earth are we talking about?
Like Kanye came with the style, the way that he dressed and all that, because Andre introduced that to what was going on.
That's wow.
This is why he's with his flute out of the rap game. He's like, I'm not listening.
I don't appreciate the guy, man.
Let me go hang out at this airport and just forget about it.
I don't appreciate the guy. I have not seen this Bad Brains documentary. It sounds interesting. Is it on Hulu or something?
I watched it on YouTube. It kind of gets into HR's whole mental. It's mostly about his mental state, and because he quit the band like 10 times over the years, so like it gets into that, but fully understanding what influenced every band that I've ever liked put a lot of perspective into my rock life at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, all these things now make sense because of where they came from. Little history.
Yeah, if you are not up on Bad Brains, punk rock band, black guys with dreads, from the DC area, I believe, DMV area, very influential. Punk's current shirt is an homage to Bad Brains album. There's been several people that have done homages to that Bad Brains album. Very influential rock band.
Yeah, insanely influential. I'm like, yeah, this band, I'm like, they're directly, like, I hear their sound exactly in there. It's crazy. But yeah, what a crazy hip hop is nuts, man.
Crazy.
I want out, Phil. All my favorite things. I think I'd be like, this week I'm like, I'm out. Wrestling this week, I was like, maybe I'm out, dudes.
Crazy, man. It is also wild that the guy Punk is tied to two pretty popular black bands, whether it be Living Color or Bad Brains. It's crazy to think about.
Every time I think about them at WrestleMania, I'm like, CM Punk made this happen. When Living Color was there, it's like, that's because of this guy.
Got them another bag, man. People are like, why is he using this remastered version of the song? I just want the regular one. He's getting them a check.
Yeah.
So
another one.
Hey, shout out to them. Shout out to Vernon. Shout out to Living Color.
Yeah, still looks great. Those guys.
Send us your super chats. That is the best way to get your chat read on your podcast. You can tell us to stop talking about music or whatever you want to tell us. Also send us your chat. humperchats.com/fightful.
You know, we always appreciate you guys submitting super and humper chats. You guys are the best, the greatest. We're going to get into a few of those and move forward. The homie Van Twin Blade starting us out today said, reminder for the class, Logan Paul is not good at wrestling. Everyone else is carrying him. Logan is scum, and every show is worse when he's on it. Is he the most overrated wrestler in the world today, Phil?
No. I think people would get mad at me if I tell them who I believe is the most overrated wrestler in the world.
People would get so mad if we said that.
Well, probably not mostly our audience.
Not our audience. They would know.
But if I tweeted it, people would go nuts on me.
Because this guy's the one. The future is all his. It's in his hands, they say.
Yeah. For reference, it's Dominic Mysterio.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't have to. Yeah, there's not even a question about it to me. Yeah,
it's definitely Dominic.
No mystery here, you guys. But right number 2 for me is Logan Paul for sure. Like every time he does spot fest with other people's moves, I'm like, all right, you guys, okay.
Yeah.
Nobody understands why. He just like buckshot lariat here and not that great at it, and this thing over here, and it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah, we'll get into the Logan Paul stuff. I still think the Logan stuff. Logan, he's very athletic.
Yes.
He's got a lot of the makings of a good wrestler, but I still think he hasn't quite figured out, outside of just doing cool moves and doing big athletic spots, like he still doesn't have like the connective stuff in between it, the storytelling stuff and like the selling and stuff that makes a good wrestler, in my opinion. But
that side says, I've seen it a bunch of times, better than Will Ospreay. They say that this guy's better than Will Ospreay, and everything that they complain about Will Ospreay, they praise that Logan Paul.
Absolutely. The criticism of just doing moves for the sake of doing moves. I said on Monty's podcast that thing that Brett said, where a lot of guys in AEW look like they're just guys playing wrestlers. That's Logan Paul to me. He just feels like a guy playing a wrestler. He doesn't feel like he has an actual character. He doesn't feel like a guy that is like, I just still don't really buy him as a wrestler. He still feels like a guest showing up to have matches.
He's like, let me put my wrestling costume on. He's like, oh, I'm doing my wrestling thing on Thursday. Then on Friday, I got my prime thing. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. And it doesn't feel like I'm a wrestler. And like, even the way that he wrestles is just like, here and a 1 and a 2 and it's my turn. Let me get my prime bottle and I'm up. It's just like there's no like soul to it. It's just like spots and let me hit my mark.
Yeah, I just saw somebody said there was a bad take. There are things that got me to the place where I think that Dom is overrated. This wasn't just like oh man, I don't like this guy, because I do think he brings a lot to wrestling. This isn't I don't like anything about him. But I do think people got pumped at brakes.
Yeah.
Like when that ESPN list came out and he was number 1, top 30 wrestler under 30, I was like, all right, let's relax. And I've seen other things people are saying. I've seen other lists he's on. I'm just like, okay. Very overrated.
Are like, he's number 1. He's the future. And I'm like, all right, you guys.
Yeah. Top wrestler under 30 over MJF, Mariah May at the time, Rhea Ripley. I was just like, oh, okay.
Not even in your own crew at the time. I was like, you're not even hotter than Rhea. Like, what are you talking about? Come on.
Yeah.
But, the guy's over.
Yeah. And when is he going to stop being a heel then if he's so over? Why is he still a heel? Why is he still doing Judgment Day stuff after all this time? Why hasn't he moved on from Judgment Day?
I can't believe that's still a thing.
It's time.
So long.
It's time.
And everybody would benefit from not being in it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's like helping everybody so much. Like if they just disbanded, everybody would excel more.
Yes.
I appreciate that, Van Twin Blade. The homie Sam Muscle says, love y'all the end. Appreciate you, Samuel Muscle. Thanks for joining us for another Saturday. I hope your Saturday's going well.
This made me think, appreciate you, Sam. This made me think of, I don't know if you've ever heard the Jeezy album with I Want Hustle. Doom, doom, doom. It's like a Diana Ross flip. And I did not know it was a Diana Ross flip until my brother heard it in the background while I was doing something else one day. He was like, yeah, it's like the Diana Ross song. And I was like, what? And so he showed me the song, and it's the Diana Ross song, I Want Muscles. I'm like, wait, what is this? And it's like a song with like Diana Ross and like all these big muscular guys in the video. I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen it.
I don't know nothing of this Diana Ross video. I want muscles.
I want muscles. I had never seen it before. I was like, what is this?
Oh, dude, that is funny. Music used to be so different. They used to be just like, you'd hear a song like that direct with a bunch of buff guys in the video.
Bro, and I've listened to that Jeezy album constantly. It's off his second album, and I've heard that song, I Want Hustle, thousands of times. I never knew it was a Diana Ross flip.
See, also, hip-hop used to be like that, too. It's like some producer or Jeezy himself could be like, man, I used to hear this Diana Ross song that's like, I want muscles, and like, I want to flip it to like, I want hustle. Like, that's how hip-hop used to work. It don't work like that anymore.
Bro, I felt like it broke my brain, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Shout out to the Queen Diana Ross, inspiring generations, inspiring Jeezy. Once again, appreciate you too, Sam. The homie Bragav says, happy Grapsody. F the Fed always, but damn it, I had goosebumps and teared up seeing AJ Lee back to wrestling. Lots of dream matches to come, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know what this is leading to for AJ. We'll, of course, get into AJ's return in a few, but yeah, it was really cool to see how many people were excited about this, to see how many people that were like excited to have her back, people that were showing legitimate emotion. It was cool.
Yeah, the amount of women wrestlers that I follow, and 100% of them were like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I was like, oh yeah, she happened to inspire a whole lot of people, it looks like. So yeah, shout out to Bragav. We will definitely get into AJ Lee here going forward. Grapple Geekery says, congrats to Alicia too and MJF on their nuptials. Yeah, I just saw a couple of pictures of them getting married. One with Tony Khan making a funny face. The funniest video of the week, Philip Lindsey, is Tony Khan running back to the locker room or whatever from this week. I don't know where he's running from or to or why it's happening, but his face and everything about it kills me. Amazing.
Yeah, I think it's at the end of Dynamite, right? It's when the stuff with the not the Death Riders. I'm so used to Death Riders beating someone down that's in the group. The Don Callis family beating down Kenny Omega.
And he sprinted out of there. Tony Khan, a gem there. But yeah, shout out to MJF and Alicia. It looks like they had a good time there. A bunch of wrestlers were there as the bridesmaids and groomsmen, and everybody looked super happy in there. So shout out to MJF. I hope that this inspires some great content. I know it will.
Yeah, go figure. I would not have thought that after that interview that they had once upon a time, where MJF said she was from Whore Island, that these two would end up being married. But here we are.
Wrestling played that video yesterday at the wedding.
Yeah, wrestling. What a place, man! Shout out to MJF and Alicia. Congratulations.
Just scanning the picture and seeing Jeff Jarrett's face there. I'm like, this probably was so fun. This party when it broke down. Jeff Jarrett's there. Taz is there. Wrestling stories on wrestling stories, man. Shout out to Max. Appreciate you too, Grapple Geekery. Deontay Soignier says, first ESPN PLE, sneak in Cena versus Brock, and they will sneak that in and go. But we have AJ Lee back. Magic moment last night, but disgusting tactics. SMH. Excited for WP and AO. All love, y'all.
Yeah. I assume you mean WrestlePalooza and All Out. I think that's what he means.
I thought you're saying Russell Pierce and AO. I was like, all right, what they doing?
What they doing? What they doing over there?
Shout out to those guys. They're doing some fun things over there. But yeah, the PLE is happening. I'm still waiting every day, Phil, for them to announce NXT event for earlier in the day. Like every day, I feel like they're gonna just make that happen randomly somewhere. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, that is one of the news stories coming out this week. I saw people talking about it in our chat. Well, at least one of them was that the announcement that Bryan Danielson will be a permanent fixture as a part of the commentary team.
What?
Yeah, Bryan Danielson is joining the commentary team. I believe that was broke this morning.
Really? Huh. Who said that? Who broke that? This is the first time hearing about it, and I'm very excited. Hearing his commentary during Forbidden Door was awesome. The way that he was so excited about Nigel and Zack Sabre and just knowing that he wanted to get in there. But like the way that, as we've seen in multiple clips from that interview this week, that he's just excited about wrestling. Like he spent most of the time being like, yeah, I just watched this old wrestling. I love old wrestling. You should check out old wrestling. He just loves wrestling, and his expertise in the matter is needed on commentary. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, according to Tony Khan, 52 minutes ago.
Wow.
Starting this Wednesday, Bryan Danielson will join the Dynamite commentary team full time. Welcome back, Bryan, on Dynamite this Wednesday night.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Shout out to Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, but the other news coming out of this, the bigger news is the news that AEW, Warner Brothers Discovery, have finally come to a close on bringing AEW pay-per-views to HBO Max. I think most of us assumed that was going to happen eventually. HBO Max was talking about for a while that they were still trying to develop the technology to do it and how to figure it out. Officially, they announced this week, starting with AEW All Out Toronto, that they will be putting the pay-per-views on HBO Max. Of course, they will also be distributed in other platforms. If you don't have HBO Max, you don't have to have HBO Max to watch the pay-per-views. But if you do have HBO Max, they're offering you a discounted pay-per-view price of $39.99, which, if you do your math, if you already paid the $9.99 for HBO Max, you're basically paying for $9.99 pay-per-view anyway. You're basically still paying the same price. But yeah,
do the knowledge, niggas, is back to $49.99. Most of the sites are giving it up for $49 to $39. There's a couple of ways I saw this week. Maybe if you're subscribed through cable, you can get it ended up $20 off or some kind of shenanigans. But most of them are adding up. I think my max is $9.99 at this point to being $49.99.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But of course, the thing that got everybody talking, other than the announcement that pay-per-views will be on Max, is that along with this announcement, they announced that AEW All Out is officially moving their time. The start time will be 3 p.m. Eastern time. They will not be going head-to-head with WrestlePalooza. Of course, that went exactly as I expected with the reaction on social media. Some of the takes to this have been fascinating to watch, to say the least. I don't know. What do you make of this? Because I've seen people say like this makes them look weak, and like they wanted competition, now they got it, now they're ducking the smoke or whatever else.
Those people are funny. I think that they bring up a clip after everything was established, and they had already been all these behind the scene things that these people don't know about, being like, their competition, he started it and he did not start it, but whatever. I think that AEW needs to do what's best for AEW, and like this is a best for AEW move, is moving away from anything WWE, because we see like their tactics are working. Nobody can deny that. When WWE comes out, Phil, like you said, they make the timeline and the news about them. Everything is this, like the stories are all surrounding them. So it's hard for AEW to gain any footing with who they have to promote their show. So just getting away from that, I think, is the best idea. I think the main thing was afternoon shows have been working for them, Phil. So I think you guys should just maybe adapt to them full time. Then we won't have to deal with this, even though WWE is definitely going to start doing afternoon shows if you move to the afternoon. But you just have to figure out whatever tactics you can. Who cares about cop out? Who cares about the you wanted blah blah blah? That's not really how this is working at this moment. We know that it's counter programming, and they have to do whatever they can to help themselves.
Yeah, that was a part of this I saw. I think it was the report from Fightful Select where they were saying they were trying to wait, they being AEW, they were trying to wait to see what was the reaction to All In and some of their other afternoon shows to see if they really wanted to make the move. And I think afternoon shows on Saturday is a good idea. I think that the fan base has responded well to them with international shows. And so I do think more wrestling will be in the afternoon, both AEW and WWE.
Right.
The takeaway from a lot of this is it depends on, of course, which side people are on, because some people that are very pro WWE have taken this and they've like been running around celebrating it.
It's already a victory lap.
They bullied them off their spot. I just think it was a lose-lose situation for AEW.
Yeah.
They don't really have much announced for this card right now that I would feel confident if I were them putting up against one of the biggest returns of the past decade, and Brock Lesnar versus John Cena one last time, and whatever else they put on the show. I know at one point the rumor was they were going to put Cody versus Drew McIntyre on here as well. I'm not sure if that's still going on, because Cody, of course, is filming
a movie,
Street Fighter. But just based on what they've announced, they've just announced Christian and Cope versus FTR.
Yep.
Which I'm sure that'll be fine. But, at a time when they just lost like 3 of their biggest guys, they don't have Swerve, they don't have Ospreay. They just made the announcement that Kenny Omega will not be taking a part of All Out as well, because the angle on Wednesday was to write him off TV.
Right.
And so you don't really have the big marquee matches to put up against them. When I saw Dave talk about it, that was kind of Dave's point, that this is still a star-driven business, and WWE is banking on, all right, we got this big star in AJ Lee coming back. We got a big Brock match. We got CM Punk. We've got John Cena. We don't
debut on ESPN.
We got the big debut on ESPN, and it doesn't really matter how good All Out is, because I would make the argument, of course, that AEW has had better pay-per-views consistently this year. It doesn't really matter what the better show is. WWE is going to get more coverage than AEW. It's just, they don't have anything to put up against them that would compete with the kind of coverage they're going to get with their debut on ESPN and the big matches they put on this card. And that is very much intentional. And that's why I think it's very funny when people are like, ha ha ha, they wanted competition. And it's just like, I just, remember when they were acting like WWE didn't see them as competition and they were basically doing like the Emil hook from the whole record. Competition is not now all of a sudden this competition is like, well, why y'all running from competition? It's just like, well, it's different if this was just a coincidence and these shows just happened to go head to head.
Right.
No, they created a pay-per-view specifically to put in this time slot on this day.
A whole new show.
They completely moved forward their move to ESPN and everything. Yep. They pushed everything forward.
Peacock, like they messed up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they fast-tracked the move to ESPN and everything just to put in this spot to counter program these guys. And so this is WWE doing what WWE always does. And I'm not shocked by it. I just don't think it would be smart for AEW to play into that and then try to go head to head with them. Because I've seen people also say, well, they've gone head to head with them before. All right, they have. They've gone head to head with NXT. They've gone head to head with Evolution. That's very different than going head to head with AJ Lee's first match in 10 years. That is a huge difference. And the other match I forgot about there, Mercedes Riho is also on this card. But again, this isn't like I would feel more confident if this was like the all-in card, for example. You've got Kenny versus Okada. You've got some of the big matches you got on there. This is this is your biggest show of the year. They don't have quite that same marquee show putting up against what WWE is treating like a big marquee show. I just don't see what is the benefit of going up against them other than giving people the bragging rights to go, ha ha ha, look, they went up against them and everybody's talking about the WWE show. Yeah, because that's what's going to happen. The WWE show is already one of the most talked about things anyway. And once the show is happening, it's going to be the most talked about thing in that weekend just because of all this stuff that's going into it. So why would you even try to put your show on at the same time?
Right. WWE on ESPN. That's just that alone. Like you didn't have to have Brock Lesnar or AJ Lee. They could have put together a regular card and it still was going to get massive coverage because it's the beginning of that. Add in AJ Lee after 10 years and Brock Lesnar, regardless how you feel about it, like this is going to be talked about everywhere. Like AEW's coverage is going to get buried. And still being on the same day in earlier time, their coverage is still going to be buried, but they have to do all they can to try to help themselves a little bit, like get the lead in, get fans talking about their shows before the WWE show starts.
Yeah, and in this time where people that do what we do, that review these shows, and people that live stream things, and you putting these things on at the same time, you're putting people in a position where it's like, all right,
they're gonna choose.
I have to choose, and I don't think that's a viewership thing, because I think that's what people are making a mistake. And this is what I said before about them counter programming. I don't think it's about viewership, because even if you look at the last time they did this with Saturday Night Main Event, it ended up hurting them in the long run, because people that are gonna watch AEW, they're not gonna not watch AEW to watch a Brock match, for example. That's not what they're going for. I don't think this is gonna affect AEW's viewership in that big of a way. Again, what this is we want the bigger market share and coverage. We want more people that react to these things. We want more media people covering our show and not theirs. And that can eventually affect viewership in the long run, because in order for AEW to grow their audience, they need people to cover the shows. And so that's not, I don't feel like this is them trying to put head to head to affect buy rates. I think it's to affect the coverage of the show.
Exactly, because like Denise and I do a live AEW watch along, and she was talking about doing a double stream. Like that's like AEW can't deal with that. They don't have time to build, because then WWE is just going to start throwing out the big stuff. People like the timeline's going to be talking about those things. It's better for them to just get ahead of this and move forward. What did you see that kind of along these lines? So they were talking about this week that Saturday night's main event is why NBC was like, maybe we're good with this.
Yeah, we haven't heard much about the NBC, but also I don't know how much that has to do with like them eventually leaving Peacock. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if those business deals are intermingled or I don't know. But it is very interesting that Saturday Night Main Event didn't do what they thought it was going to do, putting Goldberg against All Out. Ended up kind of being a disaster for them, but this is a totally different scenario.
Do you think because this is the start of the new business model, right? What if you have to pay $30 more or you have it a part of your thing? Do you think that's going to affect this WrestlePalooza any?
No, because I feel like this is where everything is going in general. I mean, that announcement that the big boxing match is coming up, the same thing. It's on streaming. They've got like the Canelo Bud match coming up, and that's going to be on Netflix, isn't it?
Yep, that's next week.
Yep. So, yeah, I just feel like this is what it's going to be, and I've been saying for a while, WWE is going to start charging more for their pay-per-views. I knew that was going to happen. This whole being able to watch all the pay-per-views for $10 a month, I knew that was not going to last.
And funny enough, what we just talked about with the AEW pay-per-view, the WWE pay-per-view is going to end up being cheaper. So
that's the other part. Like with, you just pay your $30 and watch WrestlePalooza. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just don't think it would be smart to try to go head to head, especially like with all of the situation. Like all of the cards are really stacked against AEW in this weekend, and that's why I'm like, it's a lose-lose situation. It doesn't even matter. Like even with the time slot change, I still think WWE is going to be the most talked about show that weekend because of everything around it. But at least moving it and getting the lead into their pay-per-view could help. But yeah, it's just they're backed against the wall, and that's why WWE is doing this.
Yes,
and their fan base that acts like they don't understand that is very interesting. I also think that how do I put this? I keep seeing people do, but they wanted competition.
Yeah,
there's a very big difference between AEW starting as an upstart company, throwing shots at the biggest company in the world, and the biggest company in the world then turning around and punching down and moving their shows to try to affect their viewership and try to affect their coverage. That is a total difference. And to act like, oh, well, it's okay when they do it. It is a total difference in what WWE is doing. AEW moving their pay-per-view at one point to go head-to-head with WWE is not going to have the same effect on WWE. And these fans know that. Anybody that's saying that these are the two same things, you're being disingenuous. Like this is not the same thing at all. Them throwing some shots or Cody smashing that throne or like whatever else, that is not harming WWE
at all.
It's not harming WWE at all.
What you described earlier about them moving mountains, that really put it into perspective. Like this ESPN, they moved up a whole streaming deal like months. Like you can't even do that. They were like, let's just move this all up to counteract one show.
They created an entirely new pay-per-view as a part of this calendar and specifically put it in this day and time slot.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like, what more can there be? It's an AEW can't do that. That's what I'm saying. Like WWE's creating new things to do to counteract and counter program. That's just how these things work.
Yeah, no, they're not the same thing. I mean, and competition, of course, is a healthy part of this business. People throwing shots back and forth, that's going to happen. But what this is and the way they're counter programming AEW, I mean, even if they did this to a company like Impact, no, you know what this is going to do to a smaller promotion. It's going to bury their coverage, man.
And like at all those times, I don't think WWE ever put any of their shows on to counter Impact. They never in their lives were like, we got to do this. That Impact's really on our heels. And like, it's funny because like so much of the talk is about how AEW ain't shit. They should be shut down. They don't make any money. But like the biggest competition in the world is like, this company's on our heels. We got to do everything we can to shut them the fuck down.
Yeah. I mean, to your point about TNA, WWE didn't go out of their way to try to go head to head, but TNA at one point tried to go head to head with WWE. And what did it do to TNA? It ruined them.
It did. It's like the worst thing they could have done was that.
Yeah. I don't know. But I've seen people that are like, nah, Tony Khan, you got to dig your feet in. You got to go head to head with them. And I've seen people that also are like, Dynamite's got to move to Monday and all this. No. No. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I think that there's always going to be an internal war being fought, and behind the scenes, big ones that people don't know about. I don't think I don't think AEW needs to fight fire with fire. I think they just need to keep doing what they've been doing. That was a lot of the talk this week. A lot of the talk this week too, Phil, about the 2300 arena and ratings, of course, things that we don't really give a shit about. But people are like, some people are saying AEW needs to do more WWE things. A lot of people are saying AEW needs to just continue doing what they're doing now to continue to move forward. What's your stance on this? Where do you feel like AEW? Do you feel like things need to change? Do you feel like this rating things mean anything? What is this?
I'm not the person to go to for rating stuff because, I've consistently been like, I don't really care about the rating stuff. And I don't really have the knowledge of these things to really break down what those numbers mean or why the numbers were low this weekend or this week rather. I don't know. I just think when you consistently do this numbers game where you conveniently use numbers arguments when it fits your argument, but you don't use it any other time, I have never been a fan of people that do that. And that's why I try not to do it, because I just think it's a silly way to argue things, especially if we're talking about wrestling where, did you enjoy it?
Yep.
If we're talking about the health of the business, I don't think you can just be like, oh, the ratings were down this week, so they're dead. I mean, you mean like a month after they just had one of their biggest shows in the U.S. ever? And not even one of the biggest show in the U.S. ever. Just did a huge number at O2 Arena a few weeks ago. I think they're doing fine. They just act like, oh, the ratings are low this week, so they're completely dead in the water. No, I don't really. Yeah, no. I don't really buy into that. I do think that people have this perception of the smaller shows of this is like, again, them throwing their hat in and saying that they're losing, they can't sell out big arenas, and so let's just do these residencies. I still just don't see it that way. I still think that residencies are good for what AEW is trying to do. They look different visually. AEW cannot do specifically what WWE does. Like, we have WWE, and not just that, WWE is the biggest game in town. They're going to be able to do specifically what they do better than anybody else. You're not going to outdo them at what they do. So I think it's better to just create a legitimate alternative. You create something that feels niche, that feels intimate. And I think that that's what worked about the Aragon shows. I think that's what's worked about the Hammerstein shows when they did it. I'm glad they're going back to Hammerstein. It sounds like that's happening in December, but I just think it would be a mistake to look at the fan bases right now. And as somebody that is a fan of both companies in different ways, and I take what I like from both companies, WWE does this like very glossy, high production value show, and that isn't always for me. So what do I look like going, hey, AEW, you got to do the same thing. You got to do this like big, huge presentation that tries to compete with theirs. No, I really like that AEW is trying to recreate all of these things that, influence them, whether it be Ring of Honor or ECW. I think that's what makes it work.
Yeah, that's what I was saying this week of like, it's hard for me to be like AEW needs to change when I'm like being completely catered to. Like, seeing Mercedes in the 2300 arena does something for me. Like that, like there's that fan base that are like, what is Mercedes doing in this bingo hall, blah, blah, blah. But like the history and what was created in this venue and what this company exists because of what created in this venue. So seeing these people in this space is awesome for me. And the energy has been way better in all these residencies. It just feels like what I originally thought AEW was going to be. Like, I was excited when Denise and I are doing this thing where we've been watching the first Dynamites and all those things. And there's hot shows, thousands of people in these big NBA arenas, the arenas that WWE were in. It was hot. I always thought that what we're seeing now is what AEW was going to be. Like, I was shocked when they were doing those gigantic arenas and things. I always thought it was going to be the theaters around the countries, the venues that established independent wrestling and pro wrestling, but on a higher scale. So like now seeing them in the 2300 arena, I'm like, yeah. Seeing them at the Hammerstein Ballroom, I'm like, yeah, because this is what I always thought AEW was going to be. And so a lot of the talk also, I think, Phil, is like 8-man tags are all-star 8-man tags are popular, kind of how the booking is. I think there is a thought of main one-on-one main events or like things like that being the kind of draw of Dynamite or how it works. But I think with these all-star 8-man tags it's kind of the spirit of what AEW is a lot of the time. Like the one this week was one of the best that I've seen in a long time, just kind of encompassing the spirit of what created this company. So it's like, I also on that side don't know, because I like the 8-man tags too.
Yeah. I think that's, again, it's a big part of the influences for this company, like big PWG multi-man matches, the multi-man matches that like build to the pay-per-view matches like New Japan does. Right. And so I totally get what they're doing. And if you're not a fan of that kind of stuff, I can also see where you're just like, I'm tired of seeing this every week. And I'm just kind of like, as somebody that watches New Japan, this is their model of building towards pay-per-views.
Right. Exactly. So it kind of goes along there. That's the funny thing when people are like, they don't tell stories, but it's just you don't understand the story that they're telling. They're telling it in a different way to establish things. So yeah, I think that at the end of it, it's just like AEW's not in the mud. I don't think like ratings determine what's going on. I think the shows need to continue to be alternative, and they need to continue to work the way that they're going, because like Phil's saying, you can't counter WWE. They had like what, 17,000 at Smackdown yesterday in Chicago. Like AEW can't do that for a Friday night show.
You see what they keep trying to do?
I do.
I said this when Punk initially came back and he stood at the top of that ramp and he said, "Whose town is this?" And I think people only saw it as Punk saying, "This is my town." They're trying to plant their flag in Chicago, man. I see
AEW has said too many times, specifically Tony Khan has said too many times, Chicago is our home. And that is a mistake saying out loud.
I see it. Chicago has been a big hub for them, of course. Vegas has also been a big hub for them.
But when I saw that tweet yesterday, that was what is like Chicago's gotten this many returns or this many moments or whatever from WWE, and I was I see exactly what's going on here.
I see what they're doing, man. And Chicago is a very big wrestling town, of course. But now I see WWE is trying to encroach more and more into this town, give this city moments, and make it seem like WWE got they've got a hold in this city as well, which they do, because I mean,
they do.
It's a multifaceted fan base, but at the same time, like I said, I see it. I see what they're doing.
When they announced the Smackdown and then the AJ Lee talk was surrounding it, I was like, oh, they're gonna do his return, her return. All right.
Yeah, big moments in Chicago. I see it. They made sure to give us like a big kind of super Cena match as well. They almost got me, man. I looked at it at one point and I said, hey, this is Cena's last time in Chicago, SmackDown. And I was like, man, I have never in my entire life bought any Cena merch. Not one piece of Cena merch. But I was very curious at one point. I was like, okay, he's been doing the last appearances in all these cities. What is the Chicago shirt going to look like? And I saw it and I was like, oh, it's Cubs. Cubs fan. I'm good on that. But then I also saw the price for that show last night, and I was like, I won't be there.
Ooh, hey, but not for nothing, no surprise. They were hot. All
Of course.
17 or whatever thousand, about super hot there.
It's
like
a wrestling
crazy.
city, bro. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised by that, but yeah, I seen that price. I seen like the merch that they had up there. I was like, oh, I see. I see
What's
exactly
the
what
comparison to what you used to would have paid for that ticket?
For SmackDown?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that, man. I seen some prices, and of course some of them were like they were like after market.
Yeah.
But it was still
up there.
Those were some expensive tickets, bro.
Again, my famous Grapsody rant to start the show. I paid $35 for that ticket. You can't get, and I was like, the second level up. You can't get a second level up $35 ticket anymore.
The lowest price I saw last night, and of course this was like, well, it wasn't last night because last night was Thursday night. This of course was the day before aftermarket. The lowest price I saw was $250.
That was the lowest? That used to be the highest.
That was the lowest I saw, and that was like upper 200 levels. It was stupid expensive. But I've gone to, I feel like I've paid that to go to a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And actually I don't even think I paid $200 on those, probably under $200, but like to go to a WWE pay-per-view, I paid that. Like when NXT TakeOver is here, I paid under $100 to go to NXT TakeOver.
I think my most expensive Mania ticket was like $300, and I got it like super. I got it like super late. You're not getting it.
That time is over, buddy.
Yeah, no, you can't get a $300 Mania ticket, and like you can get one, but you're gonna be like watching a video outside of the venue. Like you're not gonna get in here.
You're not getting that for Mania now. Nah, that's over with, buddy.
Ooh, that is, I mean, I'm just kind of blown away. They're doing concert prices at this point, Phil. $250 for like that's what it looks like when I go look for Kendrick Lamar tickets. It's like, oh, the cheapest tickets is $250.
Yeah, they, like I said, they almost got me because when I was like, oh, AJ's gonna be back, I looked at that morning and I was like, I won't be there. I'll be at home. I'll be at home eating my my Jules pesto pasta out of the bowl, watching it on TV.
That's the funny part, because that clip came out this week of Nick Khan at that, where was he, like the Halloween Horror Nights or whatever, and the guy confronted him to be like, hey, these ticket prices are insane, and Nick Khan was like, oh yeah, all right, buddy. Nick Khan walked away from there like, please don't ever let a poor talk to me and increase the prices because he talked to me.
bro was like, yeah, I'm trying to keep you away. Get a job, pal. Get a job, pal.
Telling somebody to get a job when they're questioning your ticket prices is hella funny. Get a job, pal. We're not in the charity business over here.
Yeah, I don't know that Nick said that, but he probably was sitting around like, nah.
Damn.
We trying to price you up out of here, dog.
Yeah, that's the point. It's crazy, man. I mean, but there's no stopping, Phil. They're selling out SmackDown. Like, I wouldn't change it. If you guys are going to buy the tickets, I'm going to charge you that price. Yeah. Supply and demand.
That's the thing right now. With what I've said about the price, that place was packed last night, and their shows continue to be packed. They continue to raise their prices, and people are still going. So they're not about to lower them. People still going. They're gonna still charging it. Like,
they're coming here to the Bay, and I've heard a bunch of people at like the West Coast Pro Show talking about going, like, and they're saying, "Oh, the ticket prices are high, but I got a ticket."
So. Exactly. Yeah, bro. Bay Area about to be outside. Do. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go.
Is Cena pulling up for any? I don't know if I saw any of the Bay dates in there. Cena ain't trying to pull up for his last little run.
He might do Survivor Series. That's the last.
Yeah, that's the one I saw of the California one.
That's San Diego, right?
Yeah. Still crazy that's happened. Like Cena got like 6 or 7 more or something like that. Like, then he gone.
We're gonna talk about it when we talk about Clash. I am now firmly of the belief, like, what were they doing with this guy? What was the plan?
When I saw Meltzer's 4.5 stars, I was like,
bro,
the fuck was Cena? What was all this other year stuff about?
Doug, watching 3 matches now. I remember sitting in our hotel room watching that WrestleMania main event. The last 3 matches I've seen from this guy, night and day. What the fuck were they doing?
Like, people kept saying, Phil, oh, he's really ruining wrestling. It's a bit. I'm like this guy really committed, dog. Like, I've never seen commitment like this in my life.
Yeah, we'll get into it because I have thoughts about it. Because what on earth, what are they doing?
This guy really committed to that bit of being a horrible wrestler because he's not that same guy. I don't get it. We're definitely going to get into it. Let's get into a few super chats and then we'll move forward. The homie Issa David says, best album released this year, Sabrina Carpenter's Man's Best Friend. LOL. Nothing is beating the Clips album this year. Chains and Whips still bangs.
Yeah, nah, this is one of those albums. I didn't even think about it until I was watching Joe talk about it, and Joe Budden was like, this is gonna be best rap album of the year next year.
Yeah.
By the time Grammys get here, it's probably going to be in a conversation for album of the year. And at first I thought like he's wilding, but I don't think that he's that far off. This is one of those albums that it is going outside of our bubble. It's not just the hip hop bubble. I mean, even just like the Cash tweet, and he had like the clips playing on his on his iPhone. Like, I see a lot more people that are not like the usual hip hop fans talking about this album. And I think that's a testament to just how well received it's been.
Yeah, you're right, Phil. This album has been moving. I haven't seen a hip hop album move like this in a while, where people are just like, oh no, that's a great album and amazing. It's all these things like the shows that they've been doing. Like, it's bubbling, and I could see it being at the end of the year, people are gonna still be like, the Clips album is the best album because most people have still been saying that. And some amazing albums have came out, like some great work has came out, but people are still like the Clips.
I felt very good as well, speaking of Joe Budden, because I've been praising this Chance album for like 2 or 3 weeks now. If you remember, when the other album came out, one of the biggest critics of that album was Joe Budden. And it's a story that happened in 2 parts.
He kind of was leading the way, honestly.
Yeah, no, he started a lot of the Chance hate, which is funny because Chance has done an interview with him on his podcast. But Mark came on the show. Mark Lamont Hill came on, and he was like, "Hey, y'all heard this Chance?" And they were all looking at him like, "What are you talking about?" And Parks was like, "Nah, this Chance is hard." And like they were playing songs from it. Like a week or so later, Joe comes back like, "Nah, this Chance is amazing." And Imani's like, "Yeah, shout out to Mark because I probably wouldn't have turned it on." And Joe looked around like, "What do you mean, Mark? Mark, you get your music recommendations from Mark now. Don't talk to me about Mark giving you music recommendations." And I was like, "But that's actually what happened. He came on the show and said this album is dope, and you all tried to laugh about it in the building. Then we all actually listened to it. Like, nah, this is hard. Like, wait a minute.
Nah, he need the credit. Joe wants that credit." The Chance album is still really hard, though. I listened to the Saba album on the way home from the West Coast Pro Show last night, and I was all, this album's so good. Like, the Earl album, so the West Side Gun, Hills Have Eyes 3 album, super dope, man. That's the Powerhouse Hobbs song, super dope. That song Mandela, though, I think that's the one for me. That one just like does it for me. West Side Gun, man, it's just incredible rapper. Benny has a killer verse on there too. Like, there's been so much great hip hop this year that I don't see it really stopping. Boldy James, I can't even keep up with him. Every time I open my eyes, he's like, "I'm putting out another one." I'm like, "Boldy, I haven't even listened to the last one yet."
What else?
What else? Where we at with it? Appreciate that, Easter. They've a very generous super chat. A bunch of you guys this morning. Van Twin Blaze says Aubrey needs to get therapy and stop the drugs. The man is spiraling. I have no friends because you're a fake. Be real, Aubrey, and maybe you'll get better. Yeah, if I was a friend of Drake or somebody adjacent to him, I'd be like, look in the mirror at this point, maybe, right? Like, it can't be everybody else.
I mean, the type of friends he's got around him right now, they're not about to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And if I'm 100% honest, if you're in a Drake circle right now, it's just going city from city. Like, we just kicking it. He just like, he's gambling. Y'all are just like hanging places. The last thing I'm talking about is like, hey man, hey, you got to get it together with this music. I'm like, yeah, where we at tonight, dog? Like, what? I ain't worried about none of this. Where we at tonight?
Straight up, bro.
Who coming through? I'm not worried about none of that. What are you talking about? Y'all talking about music? I feel like Thug on that call. Y'all talking to me about a song? I ain't trying to hear about no song. The song got me in here.
Bill's right though. He gambling. He probably giving out money. Just like, we having a great time. We outside. I don't care about none of these records. Oh, he got an album coming out. I wouldn't know.
Bro, you're a Drake friend. You're getting the leftovers.
Bro.
Hey. Are you talking to me about music? Hey, stop. Get out. Stop. Get out, man.
It's a life of luxury, man. Like, being Drake's friends, you get all free clothes. Like, if you're adjacent, like, you're living the same life almost. Maybe not the cars and things, but like, you could get, some features at that point.
I mean, ain't that what Dot said on Not Like Us, that he's giving his boy the hangers on?
Definitely.
I don't think any of those people are worried about like the party dying. They're not worried about Rome burning down. They're kicking it.
Yep. I'd be quiet if I was one of it. I wouldn't be one of the loud ones. Like, I'd just be like Phil saying, where we at tonight? Like, what's good? What y'all doing?
I'm trying to tell you, Bodie James, where we at with it?
That's it, and that's all. Appreciate that, Ventuba, who also says, y'all see the John Candy doc trailer? Gonna be good. I haven't seen it. I'd like to see that though.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Shout out to the homie. I don't know if it is John. I don't know if there's an official one coming out that Paul Walter Hauser's playing. I know he's playing Chris Farley, but I do want to shout him out for that ROH match because it's funny because I watched it again and I was like, this guy's hilarious. QT Marshall. What are you looking at?
I'm confused. He's playing John Candy? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think I've heard that he's playing Chris Farley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not heard of either of these things.
Yeah. Shout out to him. I definitely want to check out that John Candy doc. There's like the way that life moves. I think about this with rappers when somebody, that stupid Bay Area list came out a few months ago and someone said that Hammer was super low. And I was all, dude, when I was born, like Hammer was the biggest fucking rapper in the world. Like not in just like in California, in the entire world. He had like a cartoon, cereal and shit. Like you guys don't understand like the magnitude. And I feel like when I was born, John Candy was like the biggest comedian in the world, you know?
John Candy was out of here, bro. He had the cartoon, Camp Candy. He had like he was out of here, bro. Remember
like the stimulus package was on, bro.
Remember when Lupe got in trouble because he messed up that Tribe verse, and he was like, "Why y'all mad at me? I wasn't." Honors. Yeah, he was like, "Why y'all mad at me? I wasn't listening to Tribe growing up. I was listening to Hammer," and everybody jumped all over him like that was a crazy statement. Dog, everybody was listening to Hammer at one point. What are we talking about? Hammer was the biggest rapper in the world at one point.
In the entire world, there's only a few rappers that you can name that like at one point they're the biggest in the entire world. That was Hammer. If you get a cartoon, you're out of here. That's just like official. Kid and Play had a cartoon at one time. These are the biggest rappers in the world.
Bro, Hammer was bigger than any rapper had gotten at that time period. He was getting the endorsements. He was getting the fast food endorsements before that was a thing. Now you see all these people getting like the Sweetie Meal and all this shit. That wasn't a thing before MC Hammer, bro. That guy was out of here at a time when we didn't even know how to really describe what it meant to be out of here.
Yeah, I don't know about it. When I saw him on the Addams Family soundtrack or whatever, and he was dancing with Morticia and all them, I was like, oh, this is what this. I don't know what this is, but this is different than the rappers I'll be watching on Rap City and Yo MTV Raps.
Bro was like, we do what we want to do, say what we want to do, say what Addams Family. Fuck out of here. Y'all got Hammer fucked up. Fuck out of here.
Y'all got my guy Hammer all the way fucked up. That's all we trying to say. We do what we want to do.
Oh.
Dog, different times, man. That just brought me back to Young Thug, because I was like, Andre 3000 had a cartoon. If you have a cartoon, dog, it's something. It's different. You're not just a regular rapper. They don't give regular rappers cartoons.
Bro. And the soundtrack to that cartoon was phenomenal. Bro, nah. I'm not going for any Andre slander ever.
At all.
Ever.
At all. Appreciate that, Ben Twinblade. Single blue note. The Panda says, what's your opinion on the LA Clippers situation? Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't know what was happening. Then I started reading up and I was like, wait, this isn't just jokes and bits.
Clippers, man. Clippers is such a funny organization, bro, because they just keep getting caught up in all of these kind of things. Just the way that the news dropped, with the homie Pablo, he put it out there, and all of the memes that came out of it, and I was
Kawhi
like,
with the hard hat kills.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this, and of course, they had to make a statement. They went on ESPN and like tried to clear it up and go, this was a legitimate thing. We thought this was a legitimate company. We weren't trying to circumvent any contracts or cap. It looks insane. It's
crazy.
Very hard to believe that because it looks so crazy.
And the Clippers came out, I'm like, no, they're coming after us. We didn't know nothing about this.
No. If we wanted to give them extra money, we would have gave them extra money. What do you mean?
Right. And now that's like, and then Pablo's now like going on to this like investigation journalist stuff, and he's going after other basketball players. Now they're really being investigated. This is deeper than just some tweets and podcast shit. It's like, this is getting, I don't know what the hell's happening here.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I got that little extra 20 million or so just to be on this tree planting company or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, a little extra bag money, a little extra paper bag money over here. What's the problem?
Yeah. Just an extra 20 mil. Any easy round number.
Dog. And then also doing that for a guy that hasn't played a full season for you.
Right. Yes.
In years, and y'all are like no closer to getting out of y'all situation as the laughing stock of the league. This also is partially what makes you a laughing stock. Yeah, Clippers is a crazy organization, man.
I still haven't watched that. The FX show that they had on the Clippers. Just seeing the cosplayers on there was silly. But this is that's their legacy. It's this. Oh man, really good one. Appreciate that single blue note, the Panda. Van Twinblade said, I thought his name was Dong Phallus. Phallus? Who is Dong Phallus? Is that a bit, Van Twinblade?
I'm assuming it's a bit. Well,
who is Dong Phallus? Chime in the chat. Appreciate that, Van Twinblade. Devil Kazuya 27 says Obafemi's great. He has it. He's full of charisma.
Yeah, Oba's great. I've been a fan. I'm still very leery about what he's gonna look like when he's not on NXT anymore. I'm having a hard time getting excited about him being pushed on the main roster. We've just seen too many situations where it did not go well. I really want to hope that this is not one of those situations, but I have to see it to believe it at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm still worried about him, the main roster, and then Trick also. I think goes along with that because I'm like these guys on NXT. They look like huge stars, but we've seen guys that have went from this to that haven't made it. But these two guys they're different. They're bigger guys. They kind of have like what you would think they would push, but I still can't. I still don't have any faith in them because like Montez Ford is there. Like I can't really. They didn't like Apollo Crews. I don't.
Bro. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, Opus fire, man.
Right. I appreciate that, homie. The homie Busby says, happy Grapsody Saturday. happy Grapsody Saturday, my niggas. Happy AJ Lee is back and WWE counter programming AEW reminds me of Bischoff in WCW. This might not go the way they think.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably go the way they think. It's already going the way they think, right?
Yeah, because again, whether the show is good and whether the wrestling is good and some of this other stuff, that don't matter. All the stuff that they're going to get out of this, like the engagements and being able to hype up like the viral moments of AJ Lee being in a ring with Becky Lynch and like tagging with CM Punk and stuff like that. One last Brock Lesnar Cena match and all the stuff they can hype up. This is going to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't think they care. They're going to care that on the next day on Sunday, AEW guys like me are going to be like, they had a better wrestling show on AEW. That doesn't not matter.
They absolutely do not care about people on the internet going, man, the other show though, man, the wrestling was better over there. They don't care.
They do not care. Not there for them. So I understand why them just going full throttle. It's going to be like Phil says, they're going to get the media blitz, and that's what's more important.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate that, Busby. Ben Sifner says, could you guys give me a list of the live viewers of your shows for the last 3 months? I'm trying to determine if I've liked your shows or not. Thank you.
How many people watch y'all show every week? I gotta see something.
Oh, it wasn't important because when he said that, this many people were watching it when he said that. So it doesn't count.
No, that don't matter.
There are people that are really like that, and I hate it because that none of us are getting paid, dog. But it's unfortunate because I think back to the Attitude Era and Monday Night Wars. They prepped us for this. You know what I mean? They were into the numbers and we're doing better than you in the 83-week shit. Like it's a thing that they've tried to put on wrestling fans for a long time, but they've now succeeded with it.
Yeah. I've seen some people in the podcast space try to do the number thing as well. I'm just like, nah, I don't think you should do that. No, I think you should do that.
Do not do that. It's not a winning game.
No. I think a lot of people do things that are not winning strategies, but people don't care. Because attention is the name of the game, man. That's what this is. Like I've seen a lot of people, trying to do the attention game this week, trying to get attention by mentioning my name, mentioning your name, mentioning lists and things and doing weird shit. But listen, man, keep that weird shit over there, dog. I'm sorry. Keep that shit the fuck over there. I don't want nothing to do with that, dog.
Leave me out of this, you guys. I'm going to say it on here, and that's it. I want to be done with it. Swerve was talking about a different list. When he was talking about list, he wasn't talking about the BW 500. So stop putting up the BW 500 when you start talking about Swerve and his list shit. That's it. Thank you. Appreciate that, Ben. Ben also said WWE has captured Busted Open also. Now the entire channel. Denise is the only person who is consistently a fan of both companies.
Yeah, I don't really watch anything on Busted Open, so I would know. I don't have any I don't have any opinion of their content either way. Some of the clips I see from there, I'm like, it's a take, but all right.
I listened for my friend. Like I listened to my two friends talk a couple of Thursdays ago. My friend Philip Lindsey came on with Denise to talk about some New Japan. I listened to that. I listened when Denise has some stuff like that. But other than that, I'm chill. Yeah. I'm like Dolphin, Bubba. Like I don't really like. What do I need from them?
Yeah, I don't tune in, so I don't have an opinion of it. But I see a lot of people complain about it.
Just a lot of viral clips of like, of course, these guys are. What do you mean? Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, a lot of stuff I see is people like responding to their clips or engaging the clips, and I don't know that those clips are like an indication of what their entire show is like. Because again, I don't watch it, so I don't know.
It's funny though, because I don't see Dave LaGreca yelling as much anymore. Is he like the calm of all these guys now? Because now it's like just the other guys with their takes. Don't watch the show to know. I'm asking, yeah. Just asking this guy. Appreciate that, Ben. But nobody's really surprised. It's wrestling. This is what Phil and I are talking about. Like WWE has the media, they have all the coverage, just because a lot of people think wrestling is that company.
Dying laughing at the comment I just saw.
What you saw?
You ever wonder what like some of these things would be like if we were like actually as petty as people think we are? Because sometimes I'll be looking at things like, that's pretty funny, man. I didn't say what I wanted to say to that, but
that's a fact.
You got it. It's cool. That's not directed at anybody in our chat. It's just certain things I've seen people do, and I've just been like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I just moved on. And never talked about it again.
Phil and I'll laugh about something that would be funny, but it never leaves like our group chat or anything, because why?
It's
It's
stuff I've seen that I'm like, all right.
But why though? That's what I was saying this when the mudslinging was going on this week. I'm like, why? What's going on here?
Yeah, I'd be chilling. So
what do you
I've seen somebody I've seen somebody insinuate something and be like, they don't, that's just my opinion, they don't want to smoke. I'm like, I don't want no smoke though. I'd be chilling. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, we don't. You're right. Correct.
I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yes, and like you would have to care to want the smoke, yeah.
The smoke means something too, dog. Like I just
still too. Like I don't care if TikTok lingo's a thing and people, the Gen Zs have taken over. There's still meaning behind these things. The original meanings for me.
Yeah. Like when in the midst of someone cursing me out and saying a bunch of things, I'm just like, listen, man. This isn't what you're making it out to be. This isn't going to turn out the way you think it is. Stop it. Stop it. Like all of this smoke talk and, oh man, when I see it, hey man, if it's not going to be that, then stop saying that.
That's it.
Just stop it.
And if you're thinking it's going to be that, get some help. Like, where do you? We're talking about wrestling, dog. Dance fighting.
Yeah. None of you dudes are tough. Like, stop it. None of you guys are tough. I can't. Let me move on.
Yes. We're moving forward. I appreciate you.
Stop, dog. Like that whole energy just drives me up a wall sometimes. I'm like, dog, you guys are wrestling fans. Stop it, dog. Cut it out, dog.
Not tough. Nobody. And why are you trying to be tough? What is this? Oh, because I'm real. All right, brother. Yeah, go ahead. Continue to talk about your two dudes in underwear slamming each other. Have fun. It's just that because it's always like an I'm better than you energy, and you're not better than me. That's not how any of this works. I hate that shit. We're all the same. You're in the same stupid ass hot ass arena that I'm in, brother, with your cool shoes.
This week, in a part of me laughing at people being ridiculous, people for some reason thought I was saying that Swerve like made Shaka Khan a thing, and that people didn't know who Shaka Khan was because he basically discovered Shaka Khan, which isn't what I meant. But people were trying to run with that, and I saw it, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to dignify this with a response. But there were certain people that were then playing into it, and again, it was certain energy that I'm just like, okay.
I was just like, damn, I didn't know you guys are mad at Phil and I like that. What did we do, Phil?
How much time you got? Yeah. I seen it. I seen because I see a lot of things. I usually see
We're
people,
Swerve's friends is what I saw a lot. I'm like, what is
people
what?
subtweeting us and subtweeting me and saying weird shit, and I was just like, okay, I don't even know who you are, but all right.
I'm discovering. I always say I could not pick none of these guys out in the lineup, and they know all kind of shit about me. I don't even know you. Who are you?
Yeah.
I shake hands with fools at places. All right, let's move forward. Alabi says, Alabi says, hi guys, first time I catch you live. If Danielson were to return next year for 3 matches, who would you like to see him face? 3 Danielson matches. Number 1, AJ Styles. Is that an option?
Well, I don't know that it is. His contract news was a big part of the current news cycle as well. Apparently his contract is up in February. I would assume that he's probably retiring. I don't think that he plans to wrestle.
He posted an hourglass with the phenomenal one thing on his Instagram, and I did not get excited for an AEW run because I feel like the same way as Phil that he's going to retire and that's it. So
yeah,
but
I think this is it.
We'd love to see that. For Danielson though, on the really real, like I kind of feel like he does that. The quote that came out this week of like he's done he doesn't have no bucket list man, no nothing. I'm like all the best Bryan matches. I think we've seen him, right?
Yeah, some of the matches that I want, we're not gonna get them.
No.
I think we got most of the AEW matches at this point. We got the big New Japan ones that I wanted. We got the Zack match.
Shingo.
Got a big Shingo match.
Suzuki, Shibata, Okada. Like he's wrestling. He's wrestling.
Got to most of them. I don't think there's much left for him at this point.
And then the top guys, Swerve, already seen it, amazing. Ospreay, already seen it, amazing.
Hangman,
a killer. Like there's.
I do want another Kenny Omega match.
Yes. I think him and Kenny. That's probably one of them. I'd take that one.
I don't know. He scares me. I mean, I want it, but also I don't know. I know that one Brian in there.
With who?
Kyle Fletcher. I think that would be a good one, but also I don't know, man. I want that match, but also I want Brian to be careful as well.
I'm with you, big dog. That one's up there. That's high. Like I probably would immediately sprung to that if I didn't think. But one bad move. There's no shade. Kyle Fletcher's amazing. He should be world champion very soon. But I probably wouldn't put him in there with Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
We already got the Daniel Garcia stuff. Like he's done so many shit.
Haven't we got a Bryan Takeshita match already? Somebody in our chat was saying Bryan Takeshita. I'm pretty sure we've got Takeshita. I mean, I take another one for sure. But
I think that was when he was on that run where he was wrestling like every week and get to Max, and he had like Roosh and Takeshita and all these banging ass matches. I remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kenny part 2. Did we ever get a real Darby one?
No, not really. I mean, if we get into the ones that I don't think we're gonna get, I still want a Gresham match. I don't think we're gonna get it.
I gotta get that.
I want a Bryan Gresham match. I don't think we're getting that. I of course wanted a CM Punk match. I don't think we're getting that.
We're gonna get that. Check that one off.
The Cody match wasn't one of the Cody matches that he left on the table before he left. Cody Bryant was one I wanted.
I won't rule it out. No, the way that Cody been talking, actually, I will rule it out. Sorry. Sorry.
I think there's a very good chance, Orion, that we'll get the Adam Priest match.
Yes. I think
he's been putting over how much he likes Adam Priest.
He's gonna do one that's like out of the box, and I think the Adam Priest one is gonna be the one.
Yeah.
And then we got a Bandito one during that run too, right?
Yeah,
Was
I'm pretty sure we
Bandito
did.
one of those matches? Yeah, I think Bandito was one of those matches when he was ROH champion, maybe. If not Bandito.
Again, if we got one, I take another one.
Yeah, exactly right.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, but he's run through a lot of the post WWE run that I wanted. So it's only like a handful of them that I still want that I think are now out of reach.
Like he got Zach, Nigel, like legit. He marks like every single guy off his list, I think.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But there's still a bunch that I'd want to see rematches or different stuff. So appreciate that. Jason Knight says, thank you, Jack Perry. What Jack Perry do? Make some new knives videos.
Don't know.
Do you think Tony Khan saying thank you, Jack Perry? Philip Lindsey?
No, I think Tony likes Jack Perry like I do, man. I don't know.
Do you think I'm in the weeds. I'm hypothetically I'm all the way out there. AJ Lee, there's a world where AJ Lee returns to AEW and not WWE with CM Punk.
No.
I think that would ever happen.
I think they mean different things. I think her going back to WWE means something different.
It does.
Because it's a bit different with AJ Lee. AJ Lee was kind of a product of WWE's system.
Definitely.
Punk was a indie guy, and a big part of his career happened even before he went over there. So him going to the alternatives, like, it's just different. And that's not to say that maybe she may not have had interest in AEW. I just think that they just mean different things. Just like Punk going back over to WWE is just different. It's different than even her going back. They mean two different things.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you stand on the side of, because when I tweeted my Jack Perry thing earlier this week, a lot of people were like, oh, the Punk thing was inevitable. Do you think the Punk thing was inevitable? Like, it's funny because my response to all of them was like, well, why did Jack Perry have to be the fucking scapegoat if it was inevitable then? Couldn't it have been someone else?
I don't know. The more and more I see him over there at WWE, the more it feels like, this probably was inevitable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't.
Last night, I'm like, oh, this was this. Not that it had to happen, but like this, everything was building to these type of moments, you know?
Yeah.
So
it didn't have to be that way, but you know, it is what it is.
And like I was saying in my tweet, this is not about CM Punk. This is about Jack Perry's the one at home making knives, throwing them in his backyard, and not at the wrestling show.
Listen, man, dice are rolling, the knives are out.
But you guys know, Phil likes Jack Perry.
Yeah. I wish he was back on TV, man, because he is a very talented guy. I don't know what the plan is with him, but hopefully we see him soon.
That was also the whole point of my tweet. I want to see Jack Perry on TV. That's why I said this was a bad idea, because he probably would still be on TV if this stupid thing never happened. But that's another story for another day. Appreciate that, Jason. And then Van Twimblay says Don Phallus is what Mark Briscoe calls Don Callis. Okay, yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Van Twimblay. Appreciate your support today. That's all of our super chats for now. Appreciate everybody. Y'all are dope.
Appreciate you guys. Should we get into this pay-per-view from last week before we get in Humper Chats, or?
Yeah.
Let's run through this pay-per-view card, and then we could get into the AJ stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it'll be a easier way to do that.
Right.
Should probably pull up this pay-per-view card before I say I want to do that.
Clash and Perry. I got my Perry hat on again to make sure I'm on brand, on theme.
Hey,
Oui, Perry.
Yeah, Clash in Paris took place in Paris. What a place!
Yep.
Paris La Defense Arena last weekend. It was okay. Okay show. I how do I put this without being overly negative? I've just accepted what WWE pay-per-views are at this point. And I think the best thing I can say about this pay-per-view, and the thing I liked about this show and Evolution, is it was less of their filler and less of the stuff in between the matches. So much so that I felt like some of the matches were probably a bit too long. I think if it were me, I think they could have shortened some of these matches and put one more match on the show. Like, I think it's crazy to go to Paris of all places and not have a Tiffany Stratton match on this card. At least one of the main women's title matches should have been here.
Yeah.
Especially because you're doing Tiffany versus Jade again on SmackDown. You couldn't just do it here. And, of course, they're saving the EO and Stephanie Vaquera match now for WrestlePalooza, but you could have did that here as well.
Yeah, I didn't understand when they took off the Stephanie match, because I thought that there's a reason that you have it on this Paris show, because it's going to represent something. And having EO in it, I feel like the international flavor would have made even more sense to have it on this Paris card. That was a super confusing one. And they would have killed it too, which would also would have enhanced it. Just a bunch of confusing head scratchers on that one.
Yeah, but started on a high note. Started with Roman Reigns coming out, popping the crowd big star, going up against Bronson Reed.
Guys,
out to Bronson Reed. I think he got a lot out of this feud. I really liked the promo he cut right before Clash, and then he kind of wrestled the style of match that Roman wrestles with a big guy when he wants to make them look strong. It was kind of similar to like what we saw him do with Braun, for example. Not Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman. And yeah, this was very similar to that. He gave Braun a lot. I was surprised how much he gave Bronson Reed in this match. I thought Bronson came across looking like a big monster. Just like some of his counters to the spears and stuff, and like the way he stopped Roman from doing his big moves, like the big feats of strength. I thought all of that looked good. To nobody's surprise, of course, Roman Reigns picked up the win here. It's been so long since we've seen him work as a straight up baby face that it kind of felt refreshing. Like the crowd for this entire show was good. I thought the atmosphere for the show was good. But just seeing Roman playing it up for the international crowd as a babyface, we don't get a chance to see that very often. One, because he's been a heel for so long, and then he hasn't done a lot of international shows for the past year or so. Like last year, he didn't do a lot of them. Even after WrestleMania 39, Cody was doing a lot of international shows, not him. And so I think it was cool to see him out there in this vein, working as a babyface. Even the stuff at the end where he gets his shoes back and he's throwing the shoes out to the crowd. I thought that stuff was cool. We got another one of these Vision beatdown angles. We've just seen too many of them. And I do like that they're continuing to put over that Braun and Bronson are like the big heaters. They're the big future out of this stable. But I just think we've seen like this kind of beatdown where they do the repeated tsunamis too many times, man.
They keep kind of rehashing it. I mean, it works out for Bronson Reed. I thought it was pretty interesting that Roman kind of chose him to give the little push to, because that's a push if Roman's going away again. Kind of a funny bit, Roman's going away again, but like using Bronson as kind of the guy that one took his shoes and has been kind of having his story off of the back of what Roman's on, and then take him out. Like that means something for Bronson Reed. Like here in the long run, not a lot of people get one-on-one Roman matches these days. Like this is like he helped this actively helped Bronson get over.
Yes. Yeah, and the shoe thing worked for Bronson. After the match, and Roman had Heyman in the guillotine. Heyman got taken out. Bronson lost the match. So the whole time I was just sitting there like, okay, where's Braun Breaker? He's going to come out and attack him. It's very obvious. It took a minute to finally get there. We got to the point of him, like I said, throwing his shoes out to the crowd and him walking around, hamming it up, standing on the announce table with the 1-up and everything. And then it finally got to Breaker coming out and attacking him. Speary hit him with looked absolutely disgusting. But yeah, we've just seen too many of these beatdown angles on TV regularly, and the Vision standing tall in the exact same way over and over. It's just getting incredibly repetitive. But I do think this is a good way to write Roman off TV. Roman has been written off TV twice this year in a very similar way, but this has to be leading to Braun Breaker versus Roman when Roman comes back. And that's going to be a big match for Braun. You want something like that with Braun. If you're earmarking this guy as the next step, you got to give him that kind of big feud. And it seems like the next move in setting up either the War Games match or Roman versus Rollins sometime down the line.
Definitely. Roman versus Braun, Battle of the Spear, the big dog. This is they've been setting Braun up for all of this for a long time. Do you think they'll give him the Mania match, or?
I doubt it. I think it's going to happen before then. Because I think Roman will be back before Mania.
Because this Street Fighter thing shouldn't take too long. Seeing the stuff that they released this week on the Street Fighter promo, I'm still like, how did Roman get this job? But good for him.
Yeah. We got the Wyatt Six taking on the Street Profits after this. Street Profits came out in their Borderland cosplay gear. I thought they looked cool. I was really happy to see them on this card. This match was fine. It was what it was. It kind of felt like a TV match in the spot. They're trying to put over that there's now dissension between Angelo and Montez, and I don't know what to make of them doing it now. It kind of feels like they should have done this a long time ago. And I don't think that you needed to do this to set Montez off on his own and do a singles run. I think Montez could have done this and still stay friends with Dawkins. I have no interest in Montez versus Dawkins in like a one-on-one feud. I hope that's not where this is going. And if it's just a fake out to keep them a tag team, I have even less interest in that, because why even do that? So I don't know what to make of this. The Wyatts are in such an interesting place. They clearly have fans that like what they're doing. They got good reactions. But the matches are still like the shenanigans and stuff of like, okay, like Bo's sitting outside in the wheelchair, and then you've got to have like the big jump scare with Nikki, and then Eric Rowan is going to interfere, and all this stuff is going to happen. It's just like, but those two guys are good enough wrestlers where I don't think you need to do that, because I think the criticism of Bray at one point was, for all the theatrics, once he gets in the ring, he gets exposed as a worker. But I think Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are pretty good workers, and I think that they can work well as a tag team. I don't know why they don't just do straightforward matches.
Yeah, I thought that they specifically picked those two guys to be the champions because they're the strongest worker, and they would be able to have these matches without all of the theatrics and all the things going on. But that's not what this group is. This group is about the theatrics, and those guys, them being able to work is just like a little extra thing if they need to.
Yeah, I just don't really think they needed the titles either.
No,
especially when I talked to Monty about it, he made a great point that you've got these guys as champions on the brand where the division is really focused on all the work rate guys. You've got so many good tag teams on SmackDown, and the champions are champions because of their gimmick. Like, man, you've got DIY over there. You've got Motor City Machine Gun, Street Profits, the Garzas, Pretty Deadly. You've got all these guys that can have great tag team matches, and you're the champions of this brand are the Wyatts. And to me, it made more sense for the Wyatts to be champions on Raw, because you're building all this stuff around guys like the New Day, and you could do feuds based on like gimmicks and just doing like the backstage segments and interference stuff. It makes more sense over there because it feels like they've been doing that for so long. I mean, even just like right now, Judgment Day are still tag champions. So
yeah, they could be doing
I
stuff.
don't really understand the decision. Right. I don't really understand the decision to have them champions on a brand where there's so many good tag teams that are being underused.
Yeah, after the TLC matches from this year, I was like, oh, the tag team division's going in the right place. But then they had the Wyatts win the second one, and then it was like, oh, okay, I see what direction they're gonna go in. They're not gonna totally focus on these tag teams. They're gonna make it about that. But yeah, they have so many dope, successful ones. Every time I see and hear about the Motor City Machine Guns, I'm like, you guys got the Motor City Machine Guns. Like, what the hell's going on here? And they're losing to fucking Miz and Carmelo half of the time.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Miz and Melo's another team. Phil, you didn't mention them.
Are they a team?
Some would say.
Some would say. Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. This was not very good, and I felt bad watching it that it wasn't very good because I know what Nikki represents online for a lot of people. She's very divisive among fans. She has like very staunch defenders. She has avid diva stands that are just like she can do no wrong. Yeah, she could do no wrong. But I also think on top of that, she has some people that no matter what she does, they're going to jump on her and act like she's never been a good wrestler. She's never done anything to contribute to wrestling, which isn't true. And I felt bad watching parts of this match because I'm like, oh, they're going to let Nikki have it. And I don't think that she necessarily deserved that. But there were some clear miscommunications throughout this match, and it did not come across well. Some of the clips that came from this, I was just like, oh no, I hate to see this because the internet is going to do what the internet does with anything Nikki Bella related. And that's pretty much what came of it. Becky has had like a solid streak of defending this belt on pay-per-views. This was the first match this year that was just like, yeah, this was a miss. Yeah, this wasn't it for me.
Bunch of hits coming up. I think the Lyra stuff was incredible. She had a bunch of great matches up there. She's done a bunch of stuff. This match, there was a lot of miscommunications. That kick has been all over my timeline. Them at the announce table with the head thing has been on my timeline, and it's been like, it's unfortunate because that goes on to help people with the Nikki is nothing, Nikki blah blah blah, whatever narrative that they've created for her when it's totally wrong. There's a lot of people that exist in this wrestling business, in the wrestling space, because the contributions specifically that Nikki Bella did. Nikki Bella walked that fine line, even finer than I think AJ Lee, who we're going to talk about later, between like the divas and the revolution, between like what they were and what they became. And that's funny enough because there was this controversy this week also, Phil, with Nikki and Wade Barrett. And I think that's kind of what Wade Barrett was saying in the pre-show of like, she existed in a time when the women's wrestlers didn't get as much time. They didn't get to have as much TV time, and the wrestlers weren't as they are now. And I think it's going to be different when you're in this match with Becky Lynch because she's a higher caliber wrestler than most of the wrestlers that you wrestled coming up. That turned into a big deal, but it kind of came into play in the match of like, people were blaming Becky Lynch, and I was like, maybe not blame anybody if you're going to like play that game of maybe it's not a blame game. Miscommunications happen all the time in pro wrestling. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation with where that championship I think is going to, you know?
Yeah, and I think that they were heading in the right direction with the championship. I still think the championship is in a very good spot. And I think it's also unfortunate because Becky has had matches with other legends, and they've been good. I think the Lita match that she had in Saudi Arabia was good. She had some good matches with Trish. She had that really good cage match with her. And so she can bring out good performances with the legends, and this was the first time that it just didn't hit for me. And I don't think it was totally Nikki's fault. I just think that when you've been gone for so long, like she has, you need the reps. And I don't think it's just like, okay, just throw her into a high pressure situation on a pay-per-view. And then when she doesn't perform well, she just can't wrestle. I just don't think that's fair to her. But yeah, this was not, this wasn't great. But man, salute to Nikki. She did try to keep it very positive. She came out and she said how proud of this match she was, and how she's not done, which is the right take to go with. I think if she had came out and did like the "woe is me," like why is everybody picking on me thing, it wouldn't have helped.
And like, she's not a heel. She could have did that if she was a heel, be like, fuck you guys, this is this. But that's not really the direction I think she needed to go with it. They did kind of just throw her into the fire. Like, it was like, okay, Nikki Bella's going to be back for Revolution. Then she came back. They put her in a couple of matches on Raw and like throughout the thing. But like a big match on the big pay-per-view with Becky Lynch is like, that's into the fire. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people never even have had that opportunity to do that. So got to commend her for going back in there. And you can't, like you said, say she's finished off of one match.
No, I think there's still stuff you can do with Nikki. There's clearly a fan base that still wants to see her. There's still a demand for her. I think one of the other unfortunate things about this match is that the Paris crowd was not giving her anything.
Nah, they were
multiple times where I think it would have moved the match forward if the crowd would have reacted. Like, she does a manhandle slam at one point, and it just kind of died. Like, they didn't really give it the reaction that it needed. And I think that also harmed the match. But clearly, like, there's miscommunications here. The rhythm was off, and then the reaction out there wasn't great either.
Yeah, that could happen sometime. They were put into a bad spot, but I think, things happen how they happen. Nikki will come back.
But I do think it's smart with the way that they were trying to tell this story going into this, because which we'll get into the AJ Lee return. This was one of the first hints. I was like, oh wait, I see what they're doing. She's wrestling probably AJ's biggest rival on this show. That's going to play into some stuff later in the night. Interesting.
Huh. Now the dots are adding up. Because I was like, why did they? No disrespect to Nikki, but I didn't understand why she was getting the title match in the first place.
Yeah, it kind of feels like there was something planned for her at Evolution that fell through. And so she ended up on this card. And I don't think it was the wrong decision with what Becky Lynch represents for this era of wrestling, but also kind of feel like it's playing into the AJ Lee stuff and some things we got later this night.
Right. That makes more sense.
We got Rusev versus Sheamus in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. This was a fun match. It was a big hardcore style match that Sheamus likes. Sheamus was having the time of his life out there. I thought that this match did what it was supposed to do. I thought Rusev came out and he looked good. This was easily Rusev's best match since he's been back. But it's kind of the same thing I said about the Nikki Bella situation, where he just didn't get the reactions that he needed in this match for it to feel like it mattered. When he came out, like, the crowd did not seem to care. And
didn't give him nothing.
And even throughout the match where he was getting the big spots in, they were still weren't giving him much. And he really needed this win. I think he needs something in general. I think he needs a big feud or something to get people invested. And so he needed this win, but even after the win, it still kind of just felt like, all right, that's the thing that happened. Moving on to the next match.
He needs a different feud. Like, they got him. He's mostly been locked in with Sheamus for a lot of this. And I think they could still get him over, and there's a point that I think this thing could work. But right now, people are just like, oh, you still doing the Sheamus thing? That's cool. And he just needs something else for people to latch onto.
Yeah, I think he needs like a sympathetic guy to go up against.
Yeah.
He needs something where, the crowd will actually react and boo to him. And, it didn't really work here. But I thought the match itself was good. I really liked the match. It's Sheamus. Sheamus doesn't really have bad matches. And so, this was fun. I think the big spots were great, like the big table spot outside. Even the way that Rusev won with the Acolyte and the bar, I like that a lot. But yeah, man, give Rusev in some feuds, man. This guy's really talented, man. I think he's a great wrestler. And I think it's unfortunate that a lot of times people talk about the stuff around the wrestling that is kind of inconsequential at the moment.
Right.
Because, like I said, he is good. And I think if you put him in situations where he can shine, he's clearly still somebody that can compete at a high level.
Yeah, totally. I think there's a reason that he's had a job for so long and has been in the positions that he in because he can work. And I think Sheamus is my favorite WWE style wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Sheamus he gets in there and throw the thing. Like Sheamus could be in G1. Like if Sheamus was in G1, that shit would be hard.
Yeah, I was never this big Sheamus fan growing up.
Me neither.
But man, like he's been on such a tear since he came back of great matches.
Yes. I kind of didn't fuck with him at all back in the day, but then I was like, oh yeah, he's actually pretty dope. I like Sheamus.
Yeah. John Cena versus Logan Paul. Like I was saying earlier, after the Cody match, I was very curious where we're going because that match was really good. Like that guy got into a time chamber and this was like vintage Cena against Cody. And I mean, that made sense for the story going into that match because Cena was like, you're going to get the old Cena. You're going to get exactly what you asked for. And it was the passing of the torch moment that Cody needed.
Right.
This match was very different because Logan is a different style of worker. Even in the lead up to this match and the segments they were doing where Cena is just like smoking this guy in promos, I'm like, okay, I get it. We're just going to go away from all of that stuff he did in that heel run. Forget all of that happened. Nope, we're back to just regular Cena coming out. Yeah, we're back to just Cena coming out, giving his style of promos, having good matches. I thought this match was good, but I think it was mostly because John Cena put on a fantastic performance again. I was just like, where was this guy early in this year? And listen, if you're going to tell me, oh, it's all meta, he said he was going to ruin wrestling, so he gave us a bad match. Bro, it's WrestleMania. It's the main event of WrestleMania. Nobody is paying those ticket prices and like sitting at home paying to see WrestleMania to see a bad match.
Like, I hear you. I understand what you're doing. You're trying to ruin wrestling. That's the gimmick. But WrestleMania shouldn't have been the part. John Cena gets into this. I remember the Kevin Owens matches. He gets into PWG Cena, where he just he starts throwing these crazy moves. You'll see him hit a code red. You'll see him hit like all these crazy things. And that's what this Logan Paul match felt like. John Cena's doing this new pay tribute to people that help him come up on this little journey here. Like you see in our thumbnail, he said a Styles Clash. He did an End of Days in this match. Like he's doing all these things against that he's used or were used against him against big opponents coming up. So it's like, again, like Phil's saying, I understand you were trying to ruin wrestling, but the wrestling didn't have to suffer. The actual matches didn't have to suffer for you to tell the same story because those were horrible. I was saying get you off of TV, you're washed, you're that, but you're not that. You can still do that. But this was like there's spot foo and there's spot foo, Phil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, there was ways he could have worked as a heel that grinded the match down to a halt, and it still could have been an interesting match.
Definitely.
Because people making it out to be, oh, well, it's meta. The match is bad because he wants the match to be bad. You could have worked those matches as a heel, and they still could have been interesting stories. The story in a match wasn't good. Even if you're like, okay, it's a bad match, but that's the story. But the storytelling in a match was also bad.
Like you're not helping with the bad part. It's double bad. I don't understand. And like he was using, I'm a heel, I'm gonna be bad. There's heels that are still have matches that you enjoyed that they're still heels and they're still bad afterwards. It doesn't have to be infected in that. But just him reassuring that no, that was all just a bit for some odd reason. It's so funny these last couple months.
Yeah, and the fans doing the same thing of like, oh well, you just didn't get it. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. I'm sorry. But yeah, this match was good because Cena came out there, put his work boots on, like you said, pulled out some of his most famous opponents' biggest moves, put out an end of days, put out a Styles Clash. He pulled out an Angel's Wings at one point, and commentary had to explain that he trained with Christopher Danielson at one point.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels, sorry, not Danielson. But that was cool. I think like even like the Hurricane Rana spot he does. He's been doing that one for a minute in his big matches where he wants to show you I can wrestle. He does that move.
Right.
So that was cool. I do think some of my criticism of Logan Paul was very glaring in this match because Logan Paul's not a bad wrestler. Like I said, he can do the moves. He's extremely athletic. He looks the part. Even when you consider like just Logan Paul, the person, and just the influencer thing he does, it should work better than it does right now with him as a character. And I don't think he's quite found the balance with Logan Paul, the person, and Logan Paul, the character yet to get me interested. And I think that doesn't come across well in his matches because it just feels like Logan Paul in there going through the motions, having a match where he does big moves with John Cena. It doesn't feel like there's an actual like story here.
And maybe that was the point because they were kind of telling the story that this is also Logan Paul's dream match and like he's wanted this Cena thing for a long time. But I think all of his matches are the same is the thing, right, Phil? It's like they're kind of built to the same spots. He does the big dive onto the announce table or a big moonsault out to the outside. Like it all builds to something. And like, if he was just a spot wrestler in fucking scramble matches, it would work out. But he's in big main events that are trying to tell stories beyond just the moves. And it's kind of hard for him to do that.
Yeah, and every time they try to convince us he's just this great wrestler, I'm like, yeah, but all of the great matches that you guys hold to such a high regard and tell us like, look what he did here. Yeah, but this is a match like, for example, the Roman match. That's Roman Reigns he's in there with. That's the face of this company. Roman should be able to have a good match with Logan Paul. He's Roman Reigns. It's the same thing.
Right.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah, Cody is Cody. Cody's a pro. He's going to have a great match.
Storyteller.
Yeah, John Cena, like some of the guys he's had good matches with. Yeah, I still think it's crazy that he managed to not have a great match with AJ Styles because it's AJ Styles. But regardless, when you look at most of his resume and the great matches you would say he's had, they're all with guys that are good wrestlers. They're good dance partners.
All the guys he's supposed to do this with, it makes sense. And you can, like, I could have a great match with Cody if I get some time and I get some space and I get the blah, 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 or Cena or Roman, you know what I mean? That's just kind of how this things work. So them making him the rookie of the year, best they ever seen since blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know if I stand behind that because even the moves a lot of the times don't look that great. Like when he does the buckshot lariat, we keep bringing up, just looks like shit. Some of his other moves are like I understand what you're trying to do, but it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah. The Ronda Rousey stuff this week was interesting for the same reason that Logan Paul in wrestling is interesting because some of the stuff Ronda was saying, I'm just like, oh, that's not how wrestling works though. I know what you're saying. I know you think like I'm Ronda Rousey, the MMA fighter, and like this is
how could this small person beat me up? This is different. But the wrestling don't work like that, lady.
Yeah, and you're talking about, oh well, you know, they only had me in there because of her merch sales. Yeah, it's wrestling. Like, what do you mean? And I think there's certain things with him that I still don't quite think that he has integrated well into WWE as a full-time guy, and they're very much treating him like a full-time wrestler. But he still hasn't quite fit in as he still feels like kind of like a special attraction guy to me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And like, I think if we got like 2 of these matches in a year instead of 8 of these matches in the year, I'd probably feel different about him.
Yeah. And again, none of this is just me just completely bagging on him. I just think that at this point, for as long as he's been doing this, the same thing that we keep trying to do every time he has these matches. So look how good he is. Look how quickly he's picked it up. Like, bro, we get it. He can do big moves. He's athletic, but like Kurt Angle, and the thing that made Kurt Angle special is Kurt picked up wrestling pretty quickly. He could go in there and do big moves, but Kurt eventually adapted. He evolved. He kept getting better and better. And I just don't think we've seen like that second gear. We haven't seen Logan Paul evolve as a character and a wrestler yet.
Yeah, that's like Kurt Angle came in 1999. a year later in 2000, he was a completely different wrestler. He was a WWE style wrestler. He had integrated into the company, but still was him, but also was doing like it was just way different than what's going on here. This is just like, hey, here's a list of moves. Go in here, learn these moves so you could do them in the match. And that's just like a different way that wrestling works. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot how the times are and some of the NXT stuff and independent. I've seen matches of like, here's step by step of how you get into it, and that's fine, but don't put that in with the people that are doing real work, is I think where I land with it.
Yeah, when you act like, he's better than like Will Ospreay or some of these other guys, I just don't really
like. They do the same job, but they're different jobs. You guys,
they're doing two different things as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I'm not saying that like he's just god awful and that he can't get better at wrestling. I just still don't really see the interest in him as a character.
It's been a while too, right, Phil?
That's what I'm saying. For as long as he's been here, I just don't really buy into him as a character. It just really doesn't do anything for me. But I thought this match was fun, and I think it was mostly fun because John Cena put on an amazing performance.
That's just, you brought up WrestleMania. It's so funny thinking about us sitting and watching that match and being like, what the hell is John Cena doing? And then seeing what he can do, he could still do. I'm like, damn, that really was a bit. You really forced these fans, 40,000 fans to watch this, dog.
Bro, I just will never forget sitting in our hotel room and that match started. And he did that first bump, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, the first is this?
What are we watching, man?
We knew immediately this was going to be down. Like, oh, this is going to be bad. I thought it was going to be bad, but not this bad. Woo-wee. But he redeemed himself, Phil. He's done a bunch of great promos since making people forget about it. And the matches have been a lot better. So do you was he doing this to spite these people?
I think he was trying to add an extra layer.
He thought that was the way to do
his character, and I just don't think that it worked.
Right, he tried.
I don't think it worked. And the more and more I've watched this farewell tour since the build to SummerSlam, I'm like, bro, he should have been just doing this all year, man.
This.
And I almost feel like they got to give us a mulligan for that WrestleMania match. I think he should wrestle all the way up to Mania at this point, and because that WrestleMania match we got this year was not it. And like seeing what he's done this year, seeing him show up in these cities and get his flowers like he should, like, bro, like the bizarro world of seeing this guy get cheered in Chicago, getting cheered in Chicago over an indie-rific guy like Sami Zayn is insane.
It doesn't make sense, but that's what this guy is. That's my favorite part of this, Phil, is the realization of Cena doing what we expected him to do in this retirement tour and that working, of them being like, oh yeah, his fans just want to come to the arena, buy his shirt and say thank you. Like that's all they want to do. That's it.
That's what they wanted to do from the start of this year. Everybody wants to go to his final appearances, go buy his shirts, cheer him in the crowd, say thank you, Cena, watch him put on a good match, and that's it. And it's been so apparent in the past 2 months that I'm like, they could have been just doing this all year, man. And I'm not this big Cena guy like that, but just I at least appreciate this a lot more with what he's doing, man. Because like even watching him last night, I'm like, man, this is John Cena, bro. Like this is like big this guy. This guy is pretty important to this company, man. Like he's
for the amount of time he's on top and still like it's hard for me to put anyone number one over him. Like even like I know Hogan, Austin, a bunch of people have had a run, but none of them were on top for as long as this guy was on top for like 10, 15 straight. This guy was the number one guy.
Yeah, that's why I think the longevity part about it is why I will put him over somebody like Austin. Like I don't think he was ever as popular as Austin was at his peak, but in terms of like what he did for the business, how long he remained the
probably
top guy.
Not as big as Hogan neither, because there was a time when Hogan was fucking shit, dude. But yeah.
Yeah, but like in terms of like as long as he stayed on top, like the big classic matches he's had, like the big moments he's had, he might be number one guy. Unfortunately, is probably Hogan, then him in terms of importance to the business, importance to like WWE. Like as a top guy, I think like you can't really put anybody above Hogan because the company would not be what it is without Hogan. But like Cena is probably like right up there, like number two. And so seeing this guy in Chicago getting cheered by Chicago fans, it just still feels very weird. Sammy coming out and giving it up to him, and they didn't even want to hear nothing Sammy was saying. They was trying to boo this guy out the building, which was fucking wild.
I can't even. I booing Sami Zayn, cheering Cena. Bro. That's a Chicago crowd for you. You would get that. Thinking back to what was your guys' WrestleMania? Was it 22 or 20?
It was 21. Was it 21?
No, 21 was LA. I think it was 22, maybe. And that Cena connection, he has such a connection to Chicago too. It also kind of makes sense that you guys are eventually like, all right, you got it this time. We like you. We're good. We're happy to see you. It's his final appearance there, his final Smackdown. Like this all makes sense.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 22. Big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the SmackDown match was really good. He had just like a straightforward big moves match with Sami Zayn of all people. Like even during the match, it kind of felt like they were trying to play it to, well, Sami Zayn's not an underdog anymore. Like the internet keeps trying to tell us like he's not an underdog anymore. And so we kind of got Super Sami in this match. He was kicking out of AAs and like giving Cena big moves. I'm like, what's happening here? At one point I thought, well, I never thought Sammy was gonna win. I knew after he kicked out of the first AA, I was like, oh, Brock's coming out. And so I knew that's where they were going, but I was like, this really is shit stamp Sammy in a way that you wanted, but I don't think that the end result really worked the way it should have, but it should stamp him. And I still think Sammy's gonna be world champion by next year. I think that this match was a big sign that it's happening.
Yeah, I think that they've tested him in a bunch of different areas and different main events and things, and this is another big test. I mean, less than 10 matches and appearances for John Cena, and you're one of them, Phil. That means something.
That's pretty big. A lot. It's pretty big. And like I said, the match was really fun. Really enjoyable segment before that from Cena. Like, yeah, maybe you could have just been having him go to cities and let people give him his flowers, and that's it.
Fucking I don't know. Meta. You didn't get it. He was doing it on purpose. I wish he would have not have. How about that?
Yeah. I could not believe after that Logan Paul match where I was just like, bro, this is the speed this guy's trying to go at, and y'all had him doing that. What are we doing? This is John Cena. Like, what? Weird.
He's more of an actor now. I get it. He's like, I gotta really get into this heel thing. My angle will be that the matches really sucked, and it worked. So I don't know.
Yeah. We got the main event. Right before the main event, I think it was Jackie Redmond interviewed Seth Rollins backstage, and she asked him, what are you gonna do? All of your guys are gone. They've been banned from the building because after the opening match, all of the Division got banned from the building. Paul Heyman got put in the guillotine. So, of course, like when a referee or a manager gets hit by like a wrestling move, then they're done for the rest of the night. They're never coming back. And so all of his guys.
Bryce Rimsberg.
So yeah, all of his guys were gone. So Redmond was asking him, like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna go out there and compete in this fatal 4-way? And the numbers are not on your side. And he gives this big impassioned speech where he's like, if I can't win this match on my own, then maybe I don't even deserve to be champion. And he puts on his ridiculous glasses and like flips his like big long cape in the wind and walks away. And I was like, that guy is full of shit. Like, there's no way. There's no way he's not going to cheat to win this match. In that moment, as soon as he did that, I was like, he's definitely going to cheat.
Yep. That's exactly what he did. As soon as you saw that them glasses put on, you knew what time it was.
I knew. Even the way he was talking, and he was just like, I would never need anybody to help me win, Jackie. I was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely cheating.
Immediately went out to cheat.
Yeah. Then we get the entrances. CM Punk is coming out, and for some reason, they had the camera and mic quite close enough to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I do this for AJ and Larry at home." I was like, why'd he say that?
There was
Then
a sign too.
Yeah, I was like, why did he say that? Then he got into the match, and Rollins was talking his shit to him. He's beating him down. He's setting him up for that chair spot where he's going to do the curb stomp onto the chair. And he's like, I hate you. I hate your stupid family. And I was like, why did he say that? Yeah. And so they laid quite a few seeds throughout this match and throughout the match. And throughout the end of the night, that was like, oh, AJ is really coming back. But the match itself, I thought the match was fine. It didn't really light the world on fire, but I don't think it really needed to. I think the point of this was to advance the story with Punk and Rollins and get to the moment at the end of the match with the reveal of Becky joining the Vision and all that stuff.
There was a bunch of people that are still kind of on the, I'm not surprised, but I also am surprised. The LA Knight, they still think LA Knight needs to have his moment, his opportunity, be world champion. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I didn't think that going into this match, I didn't think that he was going to win or he was going to be the big guy to do this. Like, I knew that a lot of it was going to be a storytelling, story-driven thing to get to this AJ Lee stuff. But people are still pretty high on LA Knight, Phil.
He's still getting really good reactions. Even at this show when he came out, he got a great reaction. Jey Uso is still Jey Uso. He still comes out to a great reaction. I love the story element of Jey getting advice from Roman coming up to the match, and Roman's just like, why do you care about the rest of these dudes? Why are you trying to help these dudes? This is about you. You should be trying to win. And I was just like, well, of course Roman would say that, but at the same time, it's also great advice because it's just like, bro, who cares about these dudes? You want to be world champion or not? You can't be everybody's friend.
Yeah, them putting them back together and having Roman finally be the actually mentor he's supposed to be. I like that. Good element.
Yeah, and I love that they've progressed those two characters. And Roman, after Roman made the sacrifice for him at SummerSlam, they're closer now. And so it meant more now that Roman took that beating at the beginning of the night, and so Jey took his words to heart, came out, and once they started beating down Rollins and LA's Knight, like, nah, let's get a table. Let's throw this guy through a table. And Jey is going along with it just long enough until he starts super kicking everybody, and he starts trying to win the match for himself, which I thought all of like the small moments like that worked well. I don't know that the match as a whole was as good as I would have hoped. I don't think that it was as cohesive as I would have liked it to be, but there were small moments throughout the match that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's enough. We know that it was going to be mostly what that was, because there wasn't going to be a title change or anything like that. And it was mostly to further the CM Punk and Seth Rollins story more than the other two guys in the match.
Yeah. The table outside of the ring, they tried to do a table spot, and it didn't.
I am the table.
I am the table. Punk in frustration at the end of the match stomped through the table. He gave it the old foot dive like Dr. Doom. That was very funny to me. But the closing stretch of this match, I thought was good. I thought that the stuff with him and Rollins is still good. I do think that this feud has probably gone on for too long, but I do think that they've managed to make a lot of their interactions throughout this year work. I'm still locked in. I mean, it does help that I am a Seth guy. Yes, it's Punk, but at the same time, like the stuff at the end of this match and them setting up Rollins to do the curb stomp on a chair, because he's just like, I hate this guy. You're never gonna win this championship. As long as I hold it, you're never getting this championship. And tries to stomp it. He stomps through the chair, and he does his big I'm hurt thing that Seth does. That's funny to me every time he does it. Where he's just like, oh, like I don't know why he yells so hard every time he wants to convince people that he's hurt. Like he's just acting like this stomp just like ended his knee. Like, so funny, man. He did something last night that was funny like that as well. I'm just like, this guy is so unserious, man.
The most unserious.
He does that. Punk gets the GTS. They do the spot where Seth hits the rope. He falls back on his shoulder. Punk has a big smile on his face because he thinks he's finally going to get his revenge. We get a good old fashioned bloodline reveal with the
reveal.
hoodie reveal, gets low blowed. And I was just like, okay, when you came back and you saw the silhouette, I was like, it's a woman. It had to be Becky. Even when he was doing the interview with Jackie, and I was thinking, okay, he's going to cheat. Who's going to help him? Who's the only other person on this roster that he trusts? Becky Lynch. He's made this point throughout the entire year, even the stuff with SummerSlam. He was like, the only person I told about any of this stuff was Paul Heyman and my wife. There's only one other person it could have been. And but I have to give it to Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch may be one of the few people left that can still do this at a high level, can still be a very good heel and still be a good babyface, because Becky Lynch may be the most obnoxious shit talker on the entire roster. It is so annoying. It is so funny every time she does it. When she took the mask off and she started getting in Punk's face and was just like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? And he gets stomped out of nowhere onto the chair. And then Rollins picks up the win. Rollins is holding his belt up at the end, and then Becky takes the belt and she starts raising it and starts talking shit like, we run this business. What you think it was? On the way out, she's like talking shit to Post Malone and Jelly Roll, like, yeah, this is what you sound like. Hilarious, man.
I think it's a pretty smart move. I hated the hoodie reveal because, like, figure out a different way to do this, you guys. Stop it. But I think because people seeing them together always wanted to kind of hate them. And I think that people have been upset the more that they've gotten success and the more that they've garnered love for each other. So putting them together now as heels, I think is the best moment.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense with where both of them are. I don't know why wrestling fans don't want to really see couples together on TV.
They don't. They hate that shit.
It rarely works. And when they did it during that was 2019, when Rollins was Universal Champion and she was Women's Champion, people did not like this. And
as baby faces, they hate that shit.
They did not like it. And then it also played into part of the reason that people eventually rejected Seth Rollins as a babyface. And part of the reason in my Seth lore of why this works so much for me is that Seth has been working for about 4 or 5 years to reclaim everything that was taken from him at that time period. And across the board, he's worked his way back up and it's just been like, nah, I'm the number one guy. So of course he's gonna be like, no, I got one more thing for you. I'm getting my lady back by my side because y'all had us fucked up. Yeah, you don't want me to see me with her? Well, guess what? She's right here, and she's gonna be just as obnoxious. She's gonna scream in your faces. We're gonna laugh at you when we're backstage. We're gonna wear our outrageous outfits. Do something about it. All of that stuff is great. For whatever reason, like I said, just them trying to do the QC. Look, we're a couple, guys. It doesn't really work as well because that's not really how they act behind the scenes. If you've seen them on up, down, and you've seen like how they act when they're competitive, this was it. This is the way to use them because they're so much more entertaining this way.
Let them kind of be themselves, a different atmosphere, different kind of gimmick and gear and group and all that. And I think that's really coming together. They're continuing with this vision as the NWO, and they end every fucking show the same.
Seth Riders.
Yeah, Seth Riders. Like, what? I don't know how that is. How the AJ Lee, I'm wondering how in conjunction those things were. Like, did they join them together to further this thing? Was this always a plan? Is it going to go longer than them feuding with Punk and AJ Lee? Like, I have some questions about where this is leading to.
Well, I mean, I think that both things work on their own. I think it worked out putting her with Seth and adding her to the vision. We rarely get to see like a woman next to Paul Heyman
like that. Yeah,
and I think that works. And I think with it being Seth, it makes sense for him as a heel to have her next to him. And when you think of like probably the most popular Seth Rollins run, it was Seth Rollins as Intercontinental Champion. And so having his wife as Intercontinental Champion standing next to him makes a ton of sense. And I just think a lot of the breadcrumbs they lay throughout this match and the stuff with Punk, if you're going to keep this Punk feud going, the only other interesting wrinkle you've got now is to add AJ Lee, because it's been going on for so long. It's like you got to add something to keep people interested, and this is it. I mean, it's a way out of left field. It's a Hail Mary throw, but this is basically all you got, because otherwise you're still prolonging getting to the one-on-one match and putting the belt on Punk.
But they gotta wrap this up pretty soon, though, right? They're the WrestleMania feud, the Raw SummerSlam. Feel like they've been doing a lot of this shit. We gotta move to the next. I want to see both guys as something else, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be wrapped up by the end of the year. But
Punk is champ, you think? Think Punk's gonna get it from him?
I don't. I still think the WrestleMania match is CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. It has to be at this point. They've teased this almost every year at WrestleMania season, Royal Rumble season. They have a promo every year where I'm like, these guys have great chemistry. Why aren't they just doing this match? Now you've got nothing left for Cody. He's done the Roman match. He's had a Cena match at WrestleMania. The Punk match is the last big one. Unless they're gonna do Cody Roman again, which I am not nearly as interested. I think this is the year to do Cody Punk.
Yeah, don't run that Cody and Roman back. Nobody wants to see that.
No, I'm good.
Cody's kind of running through it, though. He's gonna have to start taking on young guys here soon.
But I mean, if you're gonna really push him as like this big top guy, heir apparent, you've got to give him the big marquee matches.
Right.
And Punk's really one of the last ones he's got.
And you don't know how many more you have of Punk, so you got to start getting through those too.
But yeah, Seth Rollins picks up the win. Becky Lynch on the side. That's how we close the pay-per-view of them talking trash on the way out. The press Punk rolled out the ring, and that's where he saw the sign of the person in the crowd that said CM Punk bring AJ Lee back, and he drew emphasis on it. He highlighted the sign coming out of the ring, and I was like, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. There's no way
coming back. I think he held it up at one point, like it was.
He did.
This is what this is.
He held it up, and then they got to post show. E outright was like, "Hey, this guy's got a wife at home that used to wrestle," and yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, they would not draw as much attention to it if this was not happening. There's no way they could do that. That would have been not just booking malpractice. That would have just been like idiotic to draw that much attention to her if they weren't going to bring her back.
So what you're saying is this was not Sean Ross Sapp's fault. Like he didn't leak this.
No,
like
they laid it on pretty heavy. They laid it on pretty heavy in Paris, and then even on the next episode of Raw, I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely coming back.
Like everybody knew. Like this wasn't some big surprise when WWE Shop came on and they were like, yeah, we got the AJ Lee shirts coming out. Hopefully you had them on Saturday.
Yeah, some bot or something replied to that guy. That didn't look great. Probably didn't want that to happen.
I wouldn't think so.
But we started getting the reports early in the week about AJ Lee. I think there was a Fightful Select report right after Clash in Paris. And yeah, it was just too much happening. I was like, yeah, it seems like this is leading to AJ. Then we got the segment on Raw. And again, you got to give it up to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to go down as one of the best to ever do it. When you think of just like the amount of big stars that she has had segments with, not just like she's just a part of the segment and she's just standing around with. No, she's in a big segment with another male star. She's had segments with The Rock, John Cena, like Austin, all of these people you can think of, and now like having just like this one-on-one segment with CM Punk. That's pretty big. And that just goes on to add to just her legacy as, like I said, one of the best to ever do it. I thought this segment was really good. I thought that it did what it was supposed to do. Becky came out and was very obnoxious. When she came out at the beginning and they played Rollins music and she came out and was doing this entrance, dying laughing at that. And she comes out there and she's continued to put over that Rollins is not going to come out. He's hiding behind her. Like he's not going to come out there. And then Punk is just like, nope, I don't want to talk to you. And I had to get out of here. Get Seth out here. And she's just like, No. My husband never interrupts me. He's like, maybe he should, because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. Get him out here. And so he eventually comes out and then stands up at the top of the ramp and then just goes back. And so even just that visual of him standing there getting annoyed, watching from the ring, and you can see Becky behind it with that big smug smirk on her face was very funny. And then he turns around, gets slapped, and then she continues to slap him, is nudging him and pushing him like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna do anything. She starts like headbutting him and stuff. Fucking hilarious. When she started like pushing him with her forehead, I was like, dude, Becky is an idiot.
This is right along where she should be moving forward with that championship. Her being extra obnoxious is
so funny, man.
Character. Helping. I saw people being mad, like, why didn't CM Punk sell her slaps? I was like, they should shut down the internet. People shouldn't have it.
People are so funny, man. Oh, you're making her look weak. This is very clearly like supposed to be comedy. Everything she's doing is supposed to be funny. I mean, even the way she was smacking him and she's just the way she kept like talking to him afterwards, it's supposed to be funny, guys.
They can't accept that. They just can't help themselves.
Yeah. But I thought the segment was really good. And I thought it continued to do a good job of teasing AJ Lee. When the AJ Lee chant started, they drew attention to it. Becky very intentionally was just like, she doesn't even work here, guys. I thought that was good as well. I don't know that we need to hear any more people wrestle Punk and go, you made it harder for me, because they were chanting your name during my matches. I don't think we need to hear that line again.
I didn't like that angle. I'm like, no, that's not really. I understand what you're trying to do, but that's not his fault. That's the company's. You got to blame the company, not him. But I understand angles. They're still trying to push a couple things that, like, watch him in Saudi Arabia, I would have been fine with you, but like there's none of these arguments or anything anymore.
Yeah, I didn't really need that, but I like the segment overall. I think it was a good way of getting us to SmackDown segment. We get the interaction between Punk and Pierce backstage, and Punk's like, where's SmackDown this week? He's like, Chicago. Tremendous. Walks away. That's how we set up. Punk will be in Chicago because, of course, it's Punk. They're not going to do a show in Chicago without Punk at this point. No. And, of course, very heavily teasing that AJ Lee will return.
Heavy. Very heavy.
Very, very heavy-handed. But I thought the segment itself was good. I thought the reaction to the segment did exactly what they wanted. Punk comes out, and that leads to Becky coming out, and she's just like, what are you doing out here? You suck. You're a disgrace to Chicago. Everything about this city sucks. Your team suck. And I was just like, whoa, man. Stop telling the truth. Like, stop. Cubs suck. The Bulls suck. Kobe White was in the crowd. Kobe caught some strays. I did notice, and this is just how good they are. She did not say the Chicago Bears suck because she knows that that's her husband's team. I thought that in itself was very funny, even though the Bears are not very good.
Even though the Bears do suck.
But she made a point of not saying that the Bears suck. I thought that was great. Punk continuing to circle around. He's just like, I'm not going to put my hands on you. And playing off the line from Monday of him saying, you're going to regret putting your hands on me. And I thought it was very smart of him also to point out all the other people that were teased instead of AJ Lee, because he was like, hey, maybe I'll call in a favor from Rhea Ripley. Maybe I'll have Bayley come out here. And by the time he gets outside the ring, he's just like, I got somebody for you. And that's when we get AJ Lee's music. Great reaction to her in the crowd. Great reaction on the internet. She still looks incredible and still in incredible shape. Abs are like
in better
popping.
shape, I think.
Bro, when she came out, I was like, bro, she still looks basically the same. She hasn't been on TV in 10 years. Still looks amazing. We still got the skip. We still got all of the bits to it. Becky's reaction to it of being scared because, of course, heels when somebody else comes outside like ghosts like every time.
Like I saw people saying that, like, why would she be scared? It's like it's not that she's scared of her. Like I'm not gonna fight her. It's just like, whoa, I wasn't expecting you. Kind of scarce. You know what I mean? I think that AJ having 150 abs, looking like she could beat up the past AJ, and just kind of having a "I'm gonna fuck you up" type of face. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Very heel thing to do, standing out there like, I didn't think somebody would actually come to help him. I thought he didn't have any friends.
Exactly. Not that she's scared. I can't believe this. Just like, whoa, this is crazy. I didn't think he was gonna get someone to help. Gigantic pop. Chicago knew what was to come, and they loved it when it happened. Like you said, the internet went crazy. Everybody, just the going into the show, people were super excited. A lot of people saying they're going to tune into SmackDown. Everybody that loves women's wrestling, they loved this. They thought this was awesome. She inspired a generation. Like I said, so many women's wrestlers on my timeline were like, love her, I'm here because of her, or this and this and that. Like, just so much positivity came out of just seeing her skip out there on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think that this has been a missing piece for a while with WWE because, people can say what they want about like the beginning of the women's revolution. I know a lot of times people will say, well, it was the Emma and Paige match on NXT, and that was part of it. But the start of the revolution, the start that really made things change was AJ Lee during the Divas era, because she was so different than anybody else in that era. And you see so many wrestlers that have come after her that have been clearly influenced by her. I mean, even just Paige, and like Paige being booked as like the anti-diva and like the alternative to this era, that started with AJ. And like to have her there and have her like in a mix with somebody like Becky, who was like instrumental to that time period and where wrestling has come since then for women in WWE. Yeah, this feels like a big moment for women's wrestling fans. It definitely feels like validation for a lot of people that have been watching since the Divas era. And I don't think a lot of women from the Divas era get their credit. I don't think that Nikki gets the credit she deserves. I don't think that AJ always gets the credit she deserves. And so I think it's just such a great moment for so many people, not just fans, but indie wrestlers, people in that company that were very much inspired by this moment. And so I think that in itself is cool. And boy, I sure wish Royal Rumble was not going to be in Saudi Arabia next year, because when you think about like what the Women's Rumble has been since it was introduced, like they really got to all of the big surprises in the first one. They had a lot of like the legends pop up in that one. And so since then it's like, okay, where can you really go from there and do that kind of thing again? They got the chance to do something really cool this year with like all of the women they could bring in from the Divas era. I mean, having AJ, possibly Paige, and Nikki Bella in a Women's Rumble could be pretty cool moment. Again, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Not going to hit the same with all them super body suited up and all the things that come along with them being in that match. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, for women's wrestling, this felt pretty big. I mean, it's been 10 years. AJ left as the horsewomen were coming to prominence as they were going here. So she didn't really get to have the stuff with those. She didn't get to be involved in a lot of the stuff that got us to where we are today, but she laid the groundwork for them to be able to do it. So it makes sense. There's so many, like people are saying in the chat, dream matches. So many women are already putting their name on there to try to get them a match with AJ Lee. I think this does a lot for that company and that division.
Yeah. Punk being Punk during this entire thing, I died laughing because when she initially came out, he's got his proud husband look on his face when she's coming down to the ring, and then they do the embrace, and they have the exclusive clip they put online of them walking out, and AJ has the Intercontinental belt, and then she runs back in the ring, and she does her skip in the ring, and he's like jumping around the ring. I was like, I have never seen this man move like this ever. What is this? It's so funny. This guy really don't care about nothing but his wife and his dog.
Can't even be mad at him these days. He got her back. They got big money now. Like, life is great for them, I'm sure. Huge money.
That picture, if the picture of him and Triple H was hell freezing over, the idea of him and AJ with Triple H, like, what timeline is this? This is a woman that called Stephanie McMahon out on Twitter while she was still working there.
Mm-hmm.
These are two people that they sent this guy a fax letting him know he was fired on their wedding day.
On their wedding
standing
day.
next to him.
Yeah.
Just, what a timeline.
Their wedding day when they got nuptials, like he was like, "You're fired," and they were like, now they're standing next to him. I'm sure they talked for the a couple of years crazy about this company, and now they're back. It's just how things work.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure they can be like, well, the guy that sent that fax isn't here anymore. That was Vince. And, Vince historically said on the Austin podcast that was just a coincidence. He didn't do that on purpose. And that never really read well. And, Punk's response at the time was just like, yeah, if it wasn't a coincidence, why didn't you just like call and apologize? Why are you saying it publicly instead of to me? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they didn't officially announce the match for WrestlePalooza yet, right?
They have not, but I would assume at this point there's gonna be a mixed tag match.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like they're setting up more with Becky and AJ coming out of this. I don't know if we have her contract details yet, right? I mean, they've of course shown her signing a contract backstage, but I don't know that we have the details on like the length of the contract and how many appearances or what this is.
I was gonna say, Credit Boy have to be like, here's her signing her contract. Here we are backstage. Here I am picking her up from her hotel room. Here I am, like, dog, we get it. You did this.
He's gonna let you know at every turn I did this, man. Every turn.
Every time. It never fails. He's like, look, remember when I did this and I did this? I did this too. I was there when Stephanie was there. I'm like, all right, dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is big. Big moment. Big moment on SmackDown. Big moment in Chicago. Like, I see.
Listen, man, I wasn't there, but I was sitting there watching. I was like, Chicago crowds are always great. We do get a lot of these moments. And I saw someone saying, how many moments do y'all need? And I was just like, all of them.
I'm tired of y'all. Just keep giving them y'all. Get another. Here's another one. Here's another one. Like, and y'all gonna get more before the year's over. That's the crazy part. It ain't over.
Oh man, give us a pay-per-view. What's going on?
I see that AEW took up they took Thanksgiving away. They're going somewhere else for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know, man. They're doing Nashville. But they'll be back here in December.
Definitely. I'm tired of y'all getting all the big moments. WWE's now your big home now. All right, I see.
Yeah, what a time. Punk having the time of his life. He threw out the first pitch at the Cubs game. Then he was out there with the fans and his dog, because Larry also was having the time of his life with his like little Cubs jersey on.
It's over. They're back. The whole family's back there now. Like, that's it.
Yeah, man.
Things have been
I've seen all the people that you would expect being excited about this. Bailey was not on this show, but she was like filming the return from like behind all the crowd, like standing backstage. I was like, nobody in the world had to be happier about this than Bailey. Like, get this Bailey AJ Lee feud going as soon as possible. I know I've said that I want Bailey to quit her job, but I know what this match means to her. I know what this means for her in general. Like, get this match in first, then quit your job. Let's go.
Yeah, before you quit, before you put that 2-week notice in, get your match first, because that's important.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other people that, of course, dream matches. I mean, of course, got to get to the Roxanne match. I would assume.
I mean, Roxanne has only had one thing to do her whole time, and she's been talking about AJ. She talks about AJ Lee at least once a week, every single week.
Yeah. Roxanne's
so
a big one.
she's going to get one.
Yeah, there are quite a few ones that at this point, but yeah, man. I hope that this leads to big dream matches. I hope that AJ is happy. She seemed happy to be back in front of the crowd last night. Hopefully this works out.
A bunch of different circumstances than 10 years ago, Phil. Like she's married to this fool now.
Very
live,
very
regime,
very different time.
So hopefully it works
very
out
different times. There was an excerpt from her book at one point, and this just tells you how different it is for the women. And she was talking about how women didn't get merch, and once her merch started really flying off the shelves, it was such a big thing because the women weren't getting merch. And she knows a story about how she talked to the merch guy and like some of the people in talent relations when she first got with the company. She was like, man, I can't wait to get my first piece of merch. And they basically laughed her out the room. And fast forward to a few years later, she was one of the top merch sellers in the company.
Mm-hmm. She was over, brother. That's why this return, I'm like, oh yeah, she was fucking over before she left, dude. Like she was one of the hottest wrestlers in the entire company. Like she was in a feud with Bryan Danielson and CM Punk at the same time. Like she was up there.
Yeah. That the shirt with the rib cage and everything, that was a big mover at one point. That was one of them wrestling shirts that you saw all the time.
Yep. All the little emo girls. Love it. Good on her.
So shout out to the man. It was cool to see. It was cool to see so many people happy about her being back. Like people showing legitimate emotion. I'm never gonna be one of those people that, oh, you're a dork if wrestling makes you cry. Like, bro, nah, man. Feel what you feel. It's cool, man.
Listen, emotions are emotions. You never know what they're gonna come over. You never know how a person makes you feel or what things are. Can't fault anybody for that.
Yeah.
That one guy.
That one guy with the point in the crowd. Wonder what that guy's doing today.
Where is that guy doing? He probably was crying in the crowd last night somewhere. They didn't get him.
They didn't put the camera on him. Yeah. So yeah, send us in your super chats. Best way to get your chat read on this podcast. You can also send us chats at humperchats.com/fightful.
That's a fact. Let's get into a few of these super chats and a few of these super chats, and then that's it. Ben Sifner says, I'm excited about Brian being on commentary. I also would love to see Ian and Caprice on AEW together. A place for Veda would be awesome as well.
Yeah, definitely would like to see Veda get more opportunities.
Yeah, I think there's so many people been calling for Veda. I think they need an opportunity in AEW. I think they would be a great voice added on to that. And hopefully they are listening to this. Ian and Caprice are also amazing too. I see that they are growing fonder of Ian because of what his voice, I think, is a natural addition to the program. And I hope to hear more about that. But Brian's going to be awesome. He's going to be so awesome. I appreciate that, Ben. Tony P said, let's all congratulate the fallen goddess Athena, who hit 1,000 days as the ROH Women's Champion, the longest reigning ROH champion of all time. Longest reigning. I think Lyric might have tweeted about this. We are saying the longest reigning Black wrestler in major promotion, I think, ever for a reign. So this means a lot. She's had a bunch of great matches in that. She's grown even more prominent. She's carried a brand throughout this. Like Athena became a different person throughout this ROH title run.
Yeah. Salute to her, man. Historic. I believe, at a major promotion, she's like far and away like the longest reigning Black champion. I know like Trish Adora has she's also up there, but I don't think you would call Fight Club Pro a major promotion. Like, of course, like they deserve their credit as well, but you wouldn't call them like a promotion on.
They don't have a TV show, you know.
Yeah.
So shout out to Athena. Happy to see her on regular AEW TV, and hopefully, I don't know what's going to be the end of this ROH title run, but I guess we'll see. Might get to 2,000 days at this point.
Oh god, 2000 is crazy.
Appreciate that, Tony. Coy Stalling says, I love that Brian will be on Dynamite full time. He adds so much to commentary. With Taz, it's gonna be it's gonna be goated. Much love to you guys. Appreciate that, Coy.
Appreciate you.
Brian is going to be very awesome. He's going to add something. Can't wait to see him on Wednesday. Rafael Garcia says, tomorrow starts football Sundays. So remember, if you think it's bad, it could be worse. You could be living in NC, North Carolina, with two major teams we don't even care for.
Yeah. We are about to be back to football season. My dad was just trying to get me to come watch a game with him. I'm just like, yeah, here we're going to start this cycle again of him trying to be optimistic about the Bears. Just going to be like, okay, Dad, I hear you.
It's early. You could take it in, enjoy it until, mid-season. Then everybody hates their lives. But could be worse. Your team could be stolen from you and shipped somewhere else. But,
Vegas, baby.
Appreciate that, Raphael. And then Ben says, money and fame talks. Punk and AJ don't give a shit about morals. It makes them like most people. I care about things until it's not convenient anymore. Money.
It's complicated, man. Everybody likes money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say they don't give a shit about morals. I just think that, it's complicated. A lot of people are making concessions in their lives for things that we all make concessions in our lives in some way. We're not all like completely morally upstanding or everybody is not like I don't know. Everybody's doing something that you're technically not supposed to be doing, I guess. I don't know.
I feel, and I don't fault them for whatever they're doing. Like going back to that company and probably going overseas to Saudi and all those things. Like, it's the game. It's money. People got to pay their bills. People still want to be on the biggest wrestling company in the world and a part of the big thing. So I understand. Who knows?
It is what it is. I knew what time it was. I knew what time it was when I seen him pulling out that parking lot with the G-Wagon. I was like, oh, yeah, he's gone. It's over. he's
gone. Think back to the G-Wagon. Like, nah, that was it right there. When he was waving at y'all, it was like the high haters out of the G-Wagon. I was like, all right.
I knew exactly what time it was, man. I was just like, yep, well, so much for that.
It is.
But I mean, it's the entertainment bit. Yeah, it's the entertainment business. I know some people are going to be like, why you shooting them Bill? I don't know. I don't know what you guys want us to say. Like they're going to do people are going to do what they want to do. I don't know. I don't know. What do you
WWE is going to continue to be horrible people in a lot of avenues, and a lot of people are still going to want to wrestle.
People, so what do you want? Yeah, people are going to continue to work there. It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's all of our super chats. I appreciate everybody for submitting today. Y'all are great. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all are the best.
Yeah. We've got some humper chats here. We got some from Tony P. He says, so will everyone look at me crazy or was disgusted if I gave Young Thug Petty of the week? Because some of the recordings are oozing with Petty with shit. Now I know he's going through a lot, but randomness of some of this is funny. The MJ and Outcast takes, LOL. I did not see this MJ take. Based on the Outcast take, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw the MJ one either. I was offended after the Outcast one and never went back.
Yeah, the part where he's talking about Future and him having baby mamas and like the amount of women that probably had abortions, I was like, probably shouldn't be saying that on the phone. That's crazy, but all right.
I don't like, as we talked about on this pod, Phil, like the street shit and all that. I don't really like to, so I don't really deep dive into what's going on here. But what the hell's going on here? Why are these phone calls leaking? Where's this coming from? I don't even know.
See, Tony, I didn't want it. I didn't need to know that.
I don't want to know.
Nah.
But yeah, I thought jail calls were like, who recorded them and put them out?
I don't know. Probably somebody that somebody getting it back.
Definitely. 1,000%.
Somebody getting it back for them recordings. There's some money is getting exchanged for them recordings. They're not just coming out accidentally.
That's a fact, and that's what's that's weird.
Something's happening. I don't know what, and I don't know what the aim of it is, but yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of rat talk came out of this, and that stuff is because I mean, look, I know the internet will turn it into, oh well, this person's calling him a rat, and oh, it's a funny gossipy thing for now, but people get killed behind that, dog. It's not like just some stuff you just say somebody is a rat. Like, nah. No, these words mean things. I say this all the time, but these words mean things.
Those aren't fighting words. Those are killing words. We've seen people be murdered over these allegations. Over just the allegations. Don't even have to be true. They could just be talk in the air. So, like, yeah, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. More from Tony P. He says, WWE actually gave fans what they wanted this week with AJ. I wasn't around for the AJ run, but understand her importance. Raw was decent and carried by the AJ tease. The tease on that awesome Becky Punk's promo was good. SmackDown was made kind of special by the fans. Yeah, I think the atmosphere and everything for SmackDown was really what really made it. Some of the stuff that happened on there, like the Damian Priest Alistair match. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I think, like I said, it was mostly just felt like a special night with everything about it. Like this was John Cena's last SmackDown, and having a match with Sami Zayn of all people, and then having AJ stuff at the end. I think overall, it just felt like a special night.
It was a fan service show for sure. I think they needed it at this moment.
Yep. Alistair is officially heel now, basically, because he's doing this. He's doing this stuff with Damian Priest. He basically cheated to win last night, so yeah, he is officially a heel, I assume.
Good for him, getting some stories actually, and not just matches.
Yeah, some other stuff. The Selena Julia match. I don't know. I still don't understand this. I don't understand what they're doing with Julia on the main roster. It's not really that hard to get people interested in her, and it just doesn't seem like what they're doing is working. She's such a good wrestler, and she's got great charisma. I just don't really get what they're doing with her.
It started out fire, and then they got Stephanie, and they forgot about her.
Yeah, we're still doing Tiffany Jade as well, which I don't know why this feud is still going on. I don't know why Jade didn't just get the one at SummerSlam. I have to assume that Jade is going to turn heel, but I just don't know why they're stretching this out. I don't get it.
Jade has been taking her heel status to Twitter more, it feels like. She's like, this is how I always talk. I'm talking crazy. I see it. The seeds are definitely being planted.
Listen, I like it.
Me too.
I've been waiting. Let's get back to it, man. Like, I get it. You've been there for a minute now. You've been doing I'm happy to be here thing for a minute. We can wrap that up. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to what time it is, bro.
We're happy you're here too, but like, let's move forward now.
Yeah. Got more from Tony P. He says, too bad though that they only cared about Cena and AJ because they were lukewarm for Priest versus Black, checked out for Julia versus Mia. By the way, why they booing Sammy when he's a face? What is wrong with your city, Phil? I thought they were smart and had more class than Philly. I don't know why they were booing Sammy. I didn't get it. I know that people wanted just to hear from Cena, but I didn't understand booing Sammy. Even during the match, every time he would start like coming back and it looked like he was going to win the match, that crowd did not want to see him win. I don't know what was going on. Maybe they were really mad about Karrion Kross. I don't know.
That's what it is. They're still pissed. Bring our guy back. It's not just because they want to cheer Cena and they just are being fans that boo who he's against.
I don't know, because it used to be the flip.
Yeah.
You put somebody out there against Cena, that other person's getting cheered. The same. You used to be
Yeah.
able to put Roman out there as a babyface and put somebody else against him. They're cheering who Roman is wrestling. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't really get why they were booing Sammy. I kind of understood it to a degree during the promo because people just wanted to hear from Cena, but during the match, I did not get it at all.
Right.
I don't know. I hope this doesn't become a thing because it does seem like they're setting him up for a world title run, and it does seem like they're setting up this Cinderella story for him to win it, but that doesn't work if people booing him.
Right. People are gonna turn on him when he becomes world champion for sure, but you don't need it before.
Because it happens every time. As soon as you put a belt on somebody, oh, I'm tired of him.
Every single time, it never fails. It's a bit at this point. I'm like, wait, you guys love this person, now you hate him? What is this?
Yeah. But yeah, Tony, the stuff that they were lukewarm about, I think it's because they haven't really done enough to get people invested. Like I don't get what they're doing with Julia, and they don't do enough consistently with Mia Yim for us to believe that she is gonna beat Julia or that she's a good contender for that belt.
Right.
And I don't know, Priest has been kind of coasting since WrestleMania season. And then, they've been kind of stop-start with Alistair as well. Remember that Ron feud that it seemed like they were doing that went nowhere?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what it is. I just think that the crowd didn't really have a reason to care about either of those matches.
Yes, it's not that it's Chicago's fault. Any crowd would have had the same thing because both of those feats are kind of lukewarm in general.
Yeah, I just don't think that they did enough coming into this show to get people interested in those matches.
Right.
But yeah, appreciate you, Tony. Sure, we've got more. Let me refresh because I think. Yeah, I would not have guessed that Sammy was going to get booed last night. When it started, I was like, "What's happening here? What's going on?" But yeah, I think it's also that Sammy feels less and less like "quote unquote" our guy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
He hasn't been like the indie darling guy that made it there as like an underdog no more. He feels more and more like a WWE wrestler, and I think maybe that's part of it for some fans. I don't know, but I think even the idea of him being like Super Sammy or Sammy Hogan is just ridiculous. This guy does not win all his matches. It's not like he's burying people. I don't know what's up with this.
He lost most of that Roman shit. Like these people are so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Boy, this is taking a long time to reload. There it is. Thank you, StreamYard. I don't know what's going on. Tony says, as for Clash, it was a drag of a show. The fans made the show special. Without the fans being so hot for it, only 2 matches stand out in ring wise. The rest was made into more by the fans' engagements and the post-match angles than the commercial length. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to say that it felt like a nothing show because the crowd was electric, but a good amount of matches were kind of boring. Like I think like the last 3 matches were good, but meh.
These international shows are like you're describing. They're usually hot, but they've gotten some house show style cards for sure.
Yeah, I think this was one of those shows where again I was like, why isn't the main women's title on this show, and why wasn't there a Cody match on the show? Like,
man.
But I digress. Tony P says, speaking of fans, the toxic part of the IWC was on some other shit this week. From the weird toxic takes about ratings, blackness, moving times, and odd random shit. It was weird for no reason, which is normal, but it was out of control with bad faith takes. This is just what Twitter is, buddy.
Yeah.
Just accept it that this is what it is. I don't think it was more strange this week than it usually is. It's just always like this now.
It's strange every single week. Everybody's on some weirdo shit. Nobody can have civil conversations. Everybody just wants to argue. That's the game.
Yeah, this is just what it is now.
Man.
Let's see more from Tony P. He says, as to All Out's time getting moved, in my opinion, they're right to do so, but it gives WWE the false mindset they can bitch them and continue to do these annoying moves. I do think it will happen too often, though, and will possibly blow up bad for WWE in the future. I do think the same thing. I didn't say this when we talked about it earlier. I do think they're going to continue to do this. I do think now that they've seen that they can make WWE move, they're going to keep trying to do things like that. And I do think Alvarez is right. I think it's going to happen one time. AEW is going to move and WWE is going to move too, because I think they can get away with it now. But I do think that they're testing the goodwill of fandom, because the assumption that all WWE fans don't watch AEW could backfire here. Because I don't think that all AEW fans watch WWE or all WWE fans watch AEW, but I do think that there's more an intersect with their fandom than people think there is.
Mm-hmm. I think there's more than they think there is, for sure. Like they think it's all like they think if they're like, we're countering that, programming them, you're just gonna watch us. That's all that matters is the thing, and it's not a thing. I think a lot of their fans are going to watch the AEW show.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think just with where wrestling is and wrestling being on streaming, you don't have to watch wrestling live anymore, and so the people that watch both, they'll make a decision of, okay, well, I'll watch this later. And I don't think it's what people think. Oh, putting them up against each other is going to harm their viewership more and more. But I do think it's going to get more and more annoying to people that want to just watch both.
Yes, and people that cover and do the live watch-alongs and things that have to make different plans.
Yes, as somebody during the initial launch of AEW and that time period where they were going head-to-head on Wednesdays, and I used to have 2 screens up, I don't want to do that.
I'm chill.
I have no interest in doing that.
There's some sick people that like that. It's a thrill for them, but there's some people that cover it. No, give me one show at a time. I'm old. I need to focus my eyes. I don't got time for all this.
I have no interest in simultaneously watching 2 pay-per-views. Or 2 shows. I'm good.
No. And then try to tweet and talk on social media, and you're sometimes writing articles like you. There's too many things to do. Can't be also adding
at one point.
Things.
I don't know how or why I was doing this at the time, but at one point I had both shows up, and then I would live tweet from the outlet's account that I was working with, and then like if need be, I was editing stuff for them, and I was like writing articles. I was like, I don't know what. No, I would have like 3 or 4 screens up. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Absolutely nuts. What a time that was.
Yeah, it's just so much wrestling going on now. I just have no interest in doing all of that. That's just, and that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily like if I'm interested in watching both these shows, I'll find a way to watch both of these shows. But
yeah,
I don't want to have to jump through hoops to have to cover both of these things. And I think WWE thinks that they're going to make people that cover these things choose, and most of us don't want to do that.
Like, we're going to jump through the hoops. It's not like you're going to be like, well, I guess I'm not watching that show. It's like, no, I'm going to make time to watch that show too.
Yeah, kind of have to, because, you know. Yeah. Last one from Tony P says, for AEW, Dynamite was a fun show with an all-time end. I'm curious to see how they connect Dynamite with tonight's show. With the 4-way tag tonight, can we just announce the women's Blood and Guts already? Plus, you think we are getting a surprise lady for Tony at All Out? Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. I'm surprised we don't have anything announced for Tony yet for All Out. I would assume her opponent will be named soon. We are doing a lot of these multi-women matches. You do got to get to it and announce the Blood and Guts if you're going to do it.
I don't know if I think this is in people's brains. I don't think anybody. I don't think like Blood and I see everybody every week that like women's Blood and Guts, but they haven't given us. They haven't given us anything. Like this is all fantasy booking. Like I'd like for it to happen, but I've only heard it being fantasy booked. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah,
like I've never.
They haven't done a Blood and Guts match this year.
Talking about it or anybody, but like I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done a blood and guts match this year, and I think that's where it's mostly coming from. And they haven't teased anybody else that could potentially be in a blood and guts match. So it kind of feels like it's got to be the women, right?
Oh, you would think so, but I mean, historically, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I hope that's where this is leading.
Yeah.
If it's not, I don't really know why we did all of these multi-women matches. But yeah, they've got to make an announcement with one of these things. Either announce the blood and guts or officially announce the tag belts. They got to do something because you've got too many women on TV and you've got too many women that the fans want to see you do something with. And I think it's exasperating stuff like the criticisms of long title reigns that you've got all these women on TV and it's just like, okay, what's the end goal for all of this?
Yeah. What is the end goal?
So,
like, is it? Are we just? Because I see a lot of people being like, "Is it just going to be Mercedes and Tony beating people for the rest of the time? Like, who's next? What's going on? And all these things." And I think those are fair criticism.
Yeah. And I've got Rio in the mix. Jamie Hayter is back. You've got a deep division. You got to make some announcements at this point. If you've got these things that you're waiting for, you got to announce them soon.
Right.
But yeah, I am not as enthused about the ending of the show being that Kenny is written off because I assumed Kenny was going to wrestle in Canada. That kind of sucks. And I fear they're going to do this thing that I wish they would stop doing. Every time somebody wins this TNT title,
champion,
they end up challenging for the world title. Why do they keep doing that? I wish they would stop it. It just if he's TNT champion, why can't he defend his belt at the pay-per-view? Why are you immediately putting him in a world title picture? It's not like he can eventually get there, but I mean, he just won that belt and you're already putting him in the world title picture as TNT champion. Like
if the TNT championship is going to be like a stepping stone, let him get defenses under his belt. Let him establish as champion. Not he defended the belt twice and then they're like, oh, now he's going to be facing the world champion. No, he hasn't been established at the TNT champion enough to do this. Like I'm with this. I'm with it being a kind of intercontinental. This guy's the number one contender, next up guy, but you didn't even establish him before you immediately did that. That's one complaint I do have with AEW. They do that often. They'll make someone champion in ROH and then they're on a different brand, or they'll do that. And it's like, if you're gonna make someone the champion, let them defend that championship first before you start moving them on.
Yeah, they just did it with Mina and Athena as well, and yeah, I wish they'd stop doing that. It just feels very much like, I don't know, like, because you're not letting their run get off to a great start, and then you're immediately setting them up to lose.
Yep, because they can't beat the world champion, but then they're beating everybody because they also have a championship. So it just confuses everything. Just keep them apart, or just have him challenge Hangman without being TNT champion. But you need him to be TNT champion, so just let him be TNT champion.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it cheapens the belt they're holding as well.
It does.
Where it makes it feel like, hey, I won this belt, but this isn't the important belt. I'm challenging for the important belt, but you're holding a belt.
Yep. And not defending it and not doing this, just carrying it. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't like it. I wish they would stop doing that. See, from Van Twinblade, after the show, I need everyone to put on their stupid ass shoes, go outside on their stupid ass mental health walk. If I have to suffer, so do the rest of you. Yeah, man, people, take care of yourselves. I do know this is kind of that time of the year where people sometimes struggle with stuff because we get closer to all of these like not apologies, but holidays where everybody has to be around each other, and like, you know, Thanksgivings and Christmas is coming up. So yeah, everybody take good care of yourself.
Yes, go on mental health walks like the homie Van Twinblade is describing. Go outside, get some sun on you, eat a sandwich, turn off wrestling for a minute, get off social media, and fucking live your life. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, sorry, not last one from Tony P. On the Indies and Puro front, I have some catching up to do. Also, I need to check out Story's work. AEW may have another monster woman on their hands. That's all I have for this week. Well wishes to Rebel and congrats to Max and Alicia. Love to all. Peace. Yeah, I've only seen the clips of the woman from ROH. I didn't see the actual match.
Y'all
or
are
the
funny.
segment she was in.
I only saw the clips too. But I'm interested to see what goes on. She seems pretty green. They're grooming some wrestlers too. I like what's going on in AEW though. I will say that with losing Swerve, with losing Hangman, with losing Ospreay, losing a couple of these people, them stepping up and having young people step up like this week, that FTR brawl where they're fighting a bunch of the henchman guys. Then we got to see Adam Priest, which they had them book the match tonight, Adam Priest and Tom Billington against the FTR. I think that's awesome. Having like Jordan Oliver cook on ROH, like I think they're building towards the future and they're doing a lot of things to make sure that AEW is good for a long time. I think it's going to just take some time, but when all these people get established, it's going to be hot.
Yeah. I like what they're doing with Kyle Fletcher, even though I don't think it's a good idea to immediately throw him in a world title picture as TNT champ. I do think that having him be the guy that broke Kenny off of TV is big for him. It continues to push him as one of the main heels on the show. I like what they're doing with Dan Garcia. They're starting to build up wrestlers to look out for the rest of the year.
Right.
Just got to be consistent. That's all.
That's it. That's all.
From Ryan Ben, so Drake dropped Iceman 3 and his own Glazers turned on him saying it's whack. LOL. Anyway, listen to Screwface John's document 79. Better way to use 6 minutes. Now glad AJ Lee is back, but I'm still afraid that this booking will do her like they did Brian at WrestleMania. Now they want to keep Punk happy. They're not gonna.
Yeah. Things are different. I think that the vibes and energy around her returning and what I'm sure was presented is going to be very different. I feel like this is going to be the flowers given to her that she's deserved to have given to her.
Yeah. Shout out to Screwface. I really like his content. I like his reaction videos and his breakdowns. There are a lot of people that do great breakdowns on YouTube. The Drake stuff is very funny. Seeing the Drake fans and some of these content guys that are very pro Drake, even them being confused by this whole rollout has been really funny. That video of Kai Cenat being like, "This was a waste of my time," was hilarious.
Hella funny. But I knew eventually this was how it's going to land. But again, I still land on it. He could put out an album that everybody loves and none of it will matter. That's just kind of how the game works, man.
Yeah, of course. That's just like all of these people were complaining about the homegirl that was in the jeans commercial like a few weeks ago, Sydney Sweeney. And I'm already seeing people talk about how this movie she's in is great and people are going to love it. So, people move on so fast, man.
The fastest.
And that happens in wrestling as well. I mean, the prime example, we're talking about two people going back over there that I thought would never be back over there. So, I don't know.
They talk shit to the boss and the boss's wife.
Doofus son-in-law and his wife. Right back over there. Don't matter. From Coffee Black, he says, I was at Allstate last night. It felt like trying to hang with an old friend and realizing that they've changed. I get it with Cena's last SmackDown, but booing Sami Zayn, what happened to the game I love? Booing Sami, I don't know what that was about, bro. Coffee also says, now for the positive, Becky got booed so loud we couldn't hear her, and AJ Lee returned, hit like uncooked booger sugar. Crazy that Luke Perry is indirectly responsible for AJ returning in 2025.
Jesus.
Yeah, shout out to Luke. Rest in peace to Luke.
Rest in peace to Luke. Legendary.
D-Lo Diggs, he says, rant time. Oh, here we go. I understand people are not liking the Divas era, but saying AJ Lee didn't do nothing is pure asinine. AJ drew that AJ drew I think he's saying AJ Lee drew that crowd. touch grass. Matt Riddle shaking my head. But anyway, back to work. Love you guys and the Graps fam. Also, fire that bum Nico Harrison.
Appreciate that, D-Lo. Yeah, AJ Lee drew that house. Like we seeing her influence,
Absolutely.
and we'll see even more. It'll come to fruition for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Riddle's got to stop talking about people's wives. That's just crazy.
That's it.
Like, cut it
That's
out.
all.
Like when he did it initially, and that was what set Seth off initially. Him talking about Becky and Charlotte. That was crazy. And you're doing it again here. Like, yeah, stop talking about people's wives. Like, cut it out.
He sucks.
It's nasty work, bro. Yeah, not a big fan of that guy, but yeah, I just habitual line stepper when talking about somebody's wife. Like, cut it out.
Right. Get some help too. Shit, dude.
Yeah, it's looking rough, man. The stuff that came out about him pulling out of that charity show was not great either. Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't really pay attention to a lot of people downplaying AJ's return because I knew people would do it. So I didn't. It didn't really bother me. I think the fact that so many women in the business speak so highly of her is all you need to know.
Exactly. Like the people in the know and the people that are there, their opinion matters more than people on the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these people were either not there, or they're just being they're just being intentionally dense about her importance to wrestling.
Right.
So it's fine. From Black Phoenix brand. Oh, sorry, I skipped Leron Forts. Says, happy Grapsody. What a time it is to be a wrestling fan where there's literally something for everyone. Yeah, definitely.
That's the one cool thing. Like, no matter where, you can get a fix of what kind of wrestling you want.
Absolutely. From Black Phoenix brand, he says, happy Grapsody, brothers. Given that it's part of your job, what would it take? How far would they go for you to be completely done with WWE? I think this is the most, in some ways, I've been uninterested in aspects of their programming in a while. But I mean, in terms of me being completely out on them, you define being completely out on them? Because they're the part of me that's just like, I have no interest in talking about certain things going on in WWE. But because I'm at Bleacher and because I have other things going on, it would be pretty hard for me to not cover them at all. I don't know if that'll ever be, as long as I'm writing for Bleacher or doing this podcast, I don't know that I'll ever be able to just completely not do it.
Right. My answer is, we're done here.
Yeah.
We've been done here. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. Only time I only look at clips online because of this podcast. That's it. Like, if I didn't talk about wrestling and write about it sometimes in PWI, I wouldn't look at it. I wouldn't watch their shows. I wouldn't talk about them. I wouldn't do anything. It's only for money. That's it. Yeah. That's what you wanted anyways, you people.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's quite a bit going on that, like, I would say since the Brock announcement, or not even the Brock announcement, Brock return to SummerSlam, I don't think I've watched a full episode of Raw since then. Like, I've peeked in to see what's going on, and like I'll like know enough to keep up with it, but and SmackDown hasn't been great this year. I think this is the first week in a while that SmackDown was good. It hasn't really been great. I don't think that the crazy thing about some of the stuff that I've seen people say in terms of like AEW being dead and WWE still hot, I don't think that WWE has been that great this year creatively. I think that they, of course, been making a ton of money, and they're going to keep making a ton of money. They've made big deals like the ESPN rights deal where, yeah, they're going to continue to make money hand over fist. The Netflix thing has done well for them financially, but I don't think that like their shows have been great. I don't think they're knocking it out the park like they were like in the midst of the Bloodline stuff where they were really clicking and Cody was back and the shows were better. I don't think this has been a good year for them. I think this is probably the least I enjoyed a WrestleMania in a long time. I did not think WrestleMania was great. And I think in terms of like pay-per-views, AEW has been by far the better company. Their pay-per-views across the board have been way better.
I think that WWE got to where they always wanted to get to, though. Like, I think that I think Nick Khan now goes into meetings selling the brand. I don't think he's like, we got CM Punk and Seth Rollins and blah, blah. I think he's like, we got WWE and we're all over the place. We got celebrities. We got like the brand is now the sell and the wrestlers are secondary. And I think that's where they've always wanted to get.
Absolutely. This is something Vince had been trying to push for a while.
Yep.
And that's just what the company is now. And I mean, that's not really for me. They do a lot of stuff that I just have accepted. It's just not for me. But yeah, I don't think that WWE has had a great year. And I'm sure if I said that on certain outlets, people would not like it, but I don't think they've had like a great year creatively. I think this has been Triple H's worst year as a booker. I think this has really been their worst year since Vince left PR wise. Like outside of like the business stuff, like of course, like the streaming and the rights deals, of course, that stuff is getting good press and they're getting like more of an imprint in pop culture. But I mean like positioning themselves next to Trump and like this Brock stuff and like some of the negative press, like when you think about all the negative press they got during WrestleMania weekend, like none of that stuff looks good.
No. We're starting with that Roman Vanity Fair shit, and he was coming out kind of dancing for Trump a little bit, and like it seems like everything that's not we're making $1 billion is some kind of cringy or weird thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I know Black Phoenix brand. I don't think it'll ever be entirely possible as long as I do both podcasting and writing to be completely out on them. But I have not enjoyed a good amount of WWE contests this year. I've not been a fan. I'm like, because even like I said, even if I didn't like some of the moves that they were making in the past, like last year, I at least thought the shows were better. And I don't think the shows have been great this year.
I think they'd be kind of wrestling across the board is not must see anymore. I think that was kind of a conversation that people were having about AEW this week. And it's like, I'm a hardcore fan. I'm going to watch wrestling no matter what, but I can like skip it and I would be fine. And I think that's wrestling across the board. Like you can catch you can be caught up on a whole wrestling promotion off of Twitter clips. Like that's just how the game works. You know what I mean? You don't have to be totally invested sitting in front of my TV at 9 p.m. ready for the show. Now it's like, I could keep up with the brand in different ways. I can do this and be a fan way different than it was in previous years.
Yeah. I think like, when I just think about the amount of wrestling I watch as well, there's enough wrestling that I watch that I'm getting the matches and I'm getting the wrestling I want.
Right.
And so it ain't like it's the end of the world that I still cover WWE and I don't enjoy everything they're doing because there's a bunch of other stuff that I do enjoy. And so, I don't know. And I wish more people would think about it that way instead of just like, it has to be this zero-sum game of, I hate this company, so I'm going to spend all this time complaining about it. No, you could put all your emphasis into supporting and praising a company that you do like.
I just hate how they try to put like in this situation, they're like, Phil covers WWE, so he's blah, blah. It's like, you're part of the problem and it's like, why does it have to be so extreme?
There was a good amount of that on Blue Sky. And the thing that sparked this on Blue Sky was so funny because I don't even really talk about WWE on Blue Sky. It's the funny thing.
Did you know?
Well, it's not even just that. I think if you look at the difference in the way that I post on Twitter and Blue Sky, I think it's pretty clear what the difference is. A lot of the stuff I say on Blue Sky are more of my honest opinions on things, and it's more like just everyday thought stuff. I don't tweet like a lot of that on Twitter because a lot of people are weird over there and they just like look to argue. And so a lot of stuff, like you'll see me talk a lot more about music and stuff on Blue Sky because it's just more of like my actual thoughts about things. And so that is what made it even more funny that I got kind of, I don't know, but some people trying to pile on me. Yeah, well, it isn't really fair to say it was a pile on because it was like 3 people, but people trying to jump on this. Oh, but you still cover WWE, and it's just like, but I wasn't even talking about WWE. Like, why are y'all even? This all sparked from me saying, "Hey, man, this Chance album is dope," and one person jumping in and going, "Hey, well, why are you still covering WWE?" And I'm just like, "Dog, go outside, leave me alone." And then it turned into, "Well, it's a valid question." No, it's not a valid question. Like, suck my dick. Like,
we're talking about Chance the Rapper. How is this a valid question? Hey, this is a great album. Well, what about this? What do you mean? What about this?
Yeah, it just doesn't fucking matter. Like, I just think it's a crazy take to get into of, oh, well, you cover this company that does morally reprehensible things, and so you must be a morally reprehensible person. That's not true. Like, you know, the amount of people in entertainment that cover like a movie company or production company that has terrible people working for it, does that mean you're a terrible person because you review the movies? Are you a terrible person as a sports writer because you still covered NFL and some of the stuff that's come out about NFL? Like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Like, only wrestling fans talk like that.
That's a fact. Because a lot of people mad at WWE are gonna watch football tomorrow. So it's like,
exactly.
Where do you stand on? Where are your morals?
And I don't know about you guys, but I took a minute where I was not watching football because I did not like that Kaepernick shit. But if I was a sports writer, if I was a sports writer, I still got to cover football. It's stuff that I don't agree that the NBA does. There's like, I don't know. There's like labor things,
Targets, Walmart. Like, where do you want to start,
bro? I just wish people would understand, and I'm sure some people will feel whatever way. You can make the choice on whatever you want to watch, but there is no moral consumption in wrestling. There is not. It's no such thing as moral consumption as wrestling. And you do not get to, as somebody that's making a choice of, I don't want to watch something because I don't agree with this company does. You don't get to tell everybody else what they should do or they're a terrible person. No, you don't get to define somebody and who they are based on what they watch and what they do for work to cover something. It's just it's a dumb hill to die on, but I expect no less from
a lot
internet
of dead people on them hills.
It just people on the internet just like doing the bare minimum. Hey, if you care that much about this company being in bed with MAGA and Trump, hey man, do things that actually do something about the situation. Go out and vote. Go out and do like real things. This fucking internet activism thing and trying to jump on people for writing about something, like, that ain't changing shit. It's just you making a bunch of fucking noise and being a fucking idiot.
And talking about WWE, because all the people that hate it talk about it more than they don't. And like, the real way to stop something is don't talk about that shit, but everybody still loves to talk about it.
Exactly. I'm sorry, but it ain't my job to cover what you want me to cover.
Right.
That is not my job. It ain't my job to cover what you want me to cover and repeat your thoughts back to you. That ain't my job. If you don't like what I cover, if you don't like what I say, hey man, there's a lot of other podcasts out here. It's a lot of other writers out here. You'll find what you're looking for.
That's a fact. A bunch of them in all shapes and all sizes and all colors and all races and all everything.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing was very weird. People getting upset. And it's funny, like I said, the funny thing about it was I wasn't even talking about WWE. It wasn't like I came on there was like, hey, WWE is so great, guys. Aren't you enjoying the shows? No, that ain't what happened. I was just like, hey man, loving the Chance album. Hey, but you still cover WWE. Like, bro, find something else to do with your time, man.
Bro said he liked a rap album and they flipped it.
Bro, it was crazy. And then for people to be just like, Yeah, that's a valid question though. No, it ain't.
That's the wrong
It's
number.
not. No, it's not, dog.
It's not.
Yeah, that for some reason got turned into. Well, I can annoy you with my opinion of this because I think you're a terrible human being. Okay, all right, great.
People just live their lives with this much hate in their hearts. I can't believe it.
But I don't think they think it's hate. I have had this thought for a long time that I think that at some point people feel like they're justified in bullying people, and I just think that they think they're because the means justify it that I'm not a bully. I'm trying to get them on the right side of history. I'm trying to get them to do the right thing. No, you're not. You're just being a person online that is harassing people. That's it. You're just harassing people. That's it.
That's it. That's all. It's got to be
And
exhausting. All the things I think are exhausting, they're not because the people continue them all day, every day.
yeah, and of course, I'm not saying that I'm being bullied. I'm just saying that I do think that there's people online that do that,
Right.
and it's unfortunate because I think it tarnishes the actual issue at hand and conversation about the issue at hand. Like, yeah, it's okay to not agree with, what WWE as a company is doing, bringing Brock back, or even disagree with this administration. I mean, this guy is talking about sending military to my city. This guy is talking about martial law in cities. That's really going to affect people. And like the stuff with RFK and RFK being on just in that Senate hearing, and like the effect that he's had on like health protocols and safety protocols for this country. I said people are really being harmed by that stuff. But there's a way to actually do things about it instead of getting on the internet and complaining about people writing or podcasting about wrestling. That ain't doing nothing about politics, dog.
At all. And that's not going to stop WWE from doing anything. Yell at them. Don't be yelling at the Fools covering them.
No, I got to do nothing. But I digress. Halabasana, let's see. Halabasana is saying, Grapsody, if I trust any two wrestlers to put on a great match coming back broken from retirement, it's Omega and Danielson. They could do a hobbling old man comedy sequel to their PWG match, and it would still be match of the year.
Facts. Yeah, those two guys that I would trust with anything, even off of whatever position and how they feel now.
Yeah, sorry, it seemed like my screen was lagging a little bit for some reason. I think this is our last Humper chat from Hassan Batla. He says, what y'all think about Worlds Collide card? I want to see Ray Phoenix do something. Also, recently tried to listen to Playboy Cardi, and my old head ass couldn't do it. I think he's like anti-music. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Playboy Cardi either. It's not really for me. I know people that like it, but nah, not really for me.
A little bit of past my generation, not really music for me. I like raps and bars and shit, and it's not it. Yeah, not it at all.
Yeah, not for
When's
me.
Worlds Collide? I thought we already watched that.
No, there's another one coming up. It's funny because I just saw the commercial for it yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, they're really leaning in, really leaning into this Worlds Collide thing." Here, you're talking about the one that was on June 7th. They've got one coming up in Vegas, right?
Okay.
I think that's the one Hassan is talking about. That is September 12th. So that is next week, Friday.
Mm-hmm. Damn. They're going to put it on YouTube again?
I believe so. But yeah, it's going to be, they've got a whole card for it, 6 matches. Got that Vikingo versus Dominic Mysterio is going to be on there. Pagano and Psycho Clown versus New Day. Fabi Apache versus Natalia. Judgment Day versus Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana. Yeah, they got big card here.
Wow. Learn something new every day.
They've been playing the commercials for it. That's why I know it's coming up. That Cole commercial, and it looked like a AAA commercial, like the guy with the big Mexican accent. I was like, this is a WWE show.
Interesting.
They've infiltrated. Mm-hmm.
They have. They're in. It is.
They've infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's coming up Friday. From Meet Normus, he says 2019, the last Raw I went to made me sour. First Dynamite made me love wrestling again. Raw felt like a church picnic. Dynamite was a party. As the great poet Marshawn Lynch once said, I'm about the action, boss.
Shout out to Marshawn. Shout out to 2019, a pivotal year, life changing.
Yep. That is all of our Humper chats, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 more super chats from Ben Sifner, who says, my criticism of Punk and AJ or anyone else is I am not going to say things like I support trans rights, then take a picture with J.K. Rowling because I like Harry Potter and might be able to make money. And then he also says, I am far from perfect, but wish people once in a while would put the collective good above their ego and bank account. We have Trump because of this. Yeah, Ben, one thing that I've learned is people aren't going to have your morals. People aren't going to move the way that you do. And I don't think you should be angry at them for that. Because if you are, you're going to be angry at everybody in the world.
Yeah, I just think that most human beings are inherently selfish, and that's just what it is. I just don't think that
COVID, I don't know. I don't care about anything after COVID. I saw that people are going to be selfish, and like if everybody always talks about a zombie apocalypse, and I'm like, we would never survive a zombie apocalypse. There's way too many fucking selfish people here.
Yeah, I think people in a moment are just like, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And I mean, you bring it up to J.K. Rowling thing is interesting because, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of what she says. Big fan of that franchise. I've watched all the Harry Potter movies. Every now and then, I still watch the Harry Potter movies. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people that watch this show when they reboot it and put it on HBO. Because people sometimes just like instant gratification in the moment, and they don't want to think about what this means afterwards. They're not thinking about the fact that, okay, J.K. Rowling is going to make money off of this, and I disagree with her views on trans rights. They're just looking at it like, hey, it's a TV show, and I'm watching a TV show.
Some people choose not to buy.
What the hell was that?
J.K. Rowling.
Is that ChatGPT or somebody listening to your ass? Some people choose to not support J.K. Rowling, but you should.
Yeah, it scared the hell out of me. Oh,
that shit was
I think I pressed my screen and it pulled up the mic on my phone. I think that's what it was.
Oh man, but yeah, you know, and also like you can move how you want to. If it's fuck WWE, then it's fuck WWE. That's fine too.
Yeah, I just don't think everybody's going to make the same choices you make. I think that's where you start. It's always going to be that way. And I just don't think you can expect people to always make the same decisions you make. I mean, there are certain things that I just won't support. But again, there's a bunch of things when I think about like, oh man, probably shouldn't do that. But in the moment, you did it. Like,
here we are.
Yeah, I mean, like, just prime example. Remember when people were like out on Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A had been giving money to anti-gay stuff, and I was like, for a minute, that was going strong. Chick-fil-A the other day, I was like, it was all right.
Hella people eat Chick-fil-A. Everybody's always eating. All those people that were mad about this still go to Chick-fil-A.
There's the same thing with Starbucks. There was a whole time period where people like, I'm not going to Starbucks no more, and people still going there. So
Starbucks. Last time I walked past H&M, there were a shit ton of people in H&M. Like none of these things are anything. Nobody cares about anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at best you can be the best person you can be, and that's it. I don't think you can control what anybody else does, and I don't think you can't. You cannot control what nobody else does.
Where do your morals stand? Because that's all you can control.
Yep.
That's how I move through. That's all of our super chats. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are dope.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna double check before I close out. Make sure we don't have any more Humper chats. Pretty sure I got to all of them. I mean, listen, Van Twinblade, if you're gonna compare Chick-fil-A to Popeyes is winning every time. It's Popeyes, bro.
Like, not even a competition. Come on.
That's not a competition. Like, but I mean, it's like every now and then, Chick-fil-A be hitting that spot.
It's like when people come up with Chipotle slander. I was like, I understand Mexicans, I'm with you, dog, but sometimes you need to get you a little burrito bowl on the run and get out of there.
Sometimes it be that, and sometimes it ain't really. People don't think about it that deeply. It's just in the moment, I wanted this, and that is a lot of times what happens. In the moment, I wanted this, and so I did it. And there are a lot of decisions people make throughout the day like that.
That's a fact.
That is all of our Humper chats. Appreciate you guys for sending in your chats. Appreciate you guys for supporting as usual. We'll be back next Saturday. New episode. I have been thinking, might retool the format of how we do these things. Might retool the topics we do. Stay tuned. I'll let you guys know. But this is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Righteous Reg. We are out of here.
Boo.